Okay, let's see if we can't test a little audio here to see if we can make this work for us here tonight. That's, let's see here, Davies Central versus Red River. This should be what we got going on right now. So we'll see how things sound here once we have an opportunity to get some audio in there. Okay. Crank the crowd mic a little bit, probably getting a little extra sound there.
This is the KNOX pregame show. Brought to you by True North Equipment. True to your values, driven by you. And Signature Graphics and Apparel. Make your vision come to life. This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. This is the KNOX Post-Game Show, brought to you by...
Coach, let's talk about that amp-up factor first and foremost. Coach, let's start by talking about that. I mean, obviously, got to be getting excited, Brady. I'm guessing you're ready to roll for this matchup tonight against Grand Forks Red River?
Of course, it's always an exciting day when you're playing Red River. So,
absolutely. Well, I'm sure you're going to give us a great show tonight, Brady. Let's talk a little bit about your experience in soccer. I want to know how you got involved in soccer and what your first cool memory is of soccer going back in time, the thing that kind of sticks out to you from when you were young, and how did you find your way into this sport?
Well, at first I had a few family friends that played.
Oh, and first of all, thank you for being with us tonight, and tell me first and foremost about your earliest exposure to soccer, how you got involved in this sport, and maybe one of the really Okay, yep, so what you want to do is go inside, and you'll see a ramp. Okay? Walk up that ramp into the crowd and look up at the press box, and you'll see our camera on in front of you. Okay? All right, sounds good. Thanks, Sarah. Bye.
Hi. That's the rig right there. There's a zoom trigger on it. You can play with that right now. It reacts to how hard you push it. Push it hard, way in, push it soft. Doesn't go in so fast, okay?
Okay, I'll play around with it a little bit.
Yep. And the external viewfinder's up there, so you go ahead and play around with it for a few minutes, okay? Let me know if you need anything, okay?
Will do.
All right. That sequence was pretty good. I was watching it up here. Okay. When they get over on the far side of the field, you'll want to go in a little bit tighter just because it's further over there, right? And then if they make a free kick or a throw in where the players go this way but the ball stays down there,
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
yeah, stay with the ball. Follow the ball into the shot, right?
I was very grateful that they're playing around right now for me because the
Yep, absolutely. Yep, keep getting used to it. You keep about probably 30 yards total, like 15, 20 yards on each side of the ball. Keep the ball in the middle, you're going to be okay. And then they get over on the other side of the field, you can go in a little tighter. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Corner, if they score, it's my daughter. Guys, stand up.
You have a daughter?
Wait, oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
That's my boyfriend.
Look. One of my friends gave me $10 million. What is that guy doing? We have more. So. One of his friends broke it.
If they score, it says they scored, I'm screaming, that's my boyfriend. They don't instantly go.
Oh, I, oh.
Like, the garden, screaming, that's my boyfriend.
He also gave me the, he also gave me $100. Yeah, yeah.
From my account, got deleted.
I mean, my brother's got invested.
Hey, you're good, I was 25 hours. Oh my god.
Oh.
And then you saw the white fell over. And then the guy, yeah, that's what he said.
I think you got it. I think you got it. Are you more comfortable up on the camera with the zoom, or is the zoom trigger good for you?
This is great.
Okay,
This is great. It gives me a stability on
Okay.
it. I love it.
good.
It's probably been over a decade since I've actually run a camera.
You'll pick it up.
But Aaron used me plenty back in the day, and
Sure.
I was pretty good at this.
No, I have no doubts. You'll pick it up just fine. Yep. If there's a scoring play, you can go in a little bit closer and get all the celebration and that kind of thing.
I
Right?
didn't notice when that's going to happen, but I'll be honest, sports has never been my shtick.
Hey, if the ball goes in the net, they score.
That I know.
You'll get a feel after that. Okay.
That I do know.
Thank you, Sarah.
Absolutely.
Metcalf was able to hold that, but they stayed with the puck back behind the net. Blue got it, took a chance out in front to Zeal with a tap in that will score. Parks out of the shotgun, takes the snap, stepping, looking, back shoulder fade to Mackey, and he catches it for a Red River touchdown.
It's time for the best in local sports coverage with KNOX Live Sports and News Radio 1310 KNOX.
Puck goes free to the high slot, picked up Lovejoy, wrister, and he scores! Reardon working right side, defended the entire way. A stop by Dookie. She looks into J.C. Reardon, the high-low is there.
The following is a presentation of KNOX Live Sports, presented by Rivard's Turf and Forage and Grand Trailer Sales.
Off to the right, down to the doorstep. Hoganson, a backhander, he scores. What a play for Griffin Hoganson.
Let's go live to tonight's presentation.
Well, we welcome you to Cushman Field tonight for what should be a lot of fun this evening. The Cushman Cup is upon us this evening. We get ready for the first crosstown battle between our two schools in Grand Forks Central and Grand Forks Red River. Ready to do battle tonight in the Rivard's Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports. It'll be a soccer matchup to get a big week started, to include our first football games of the year. Coming up on Friday, and tonight soccer is on the line, the first of two between these crosstown rivals. We welcome you to our coverage of high school soccer tonight on the Rivard's Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. I'm Ryan Cunningham with you this evening. Sarah McWilliams will have our video work below. And what we have for tonight is a lot of fun. Central Red River, whenever they decide to get together, it's always a great matchup between these two. But in soccer, it's probably a little bit closer to family than perhaps some of the other sports. Although with hockey and even with basketball, and yes, even with football, there's probably some family that's related in those situations as well. But these soccer players play together from a very young age when they're about 5 years old. They start off in something called Sunflake Soccer, and they make their way through the ranks, as we know, all the way up until they finally make their way to junior varsity soccer, and then eventually varsity soccer, and that's where they're at tonight. And both teams coming into this one rather hungry this evening. It was a rough week for both, particularly for Grand Forks Red River last week. They failed to score a goal, dropping a 3-0 decision at the hands of Fargo South here on Monday, and then here on Thursday dropping a 2-0 decision at the hands of Fargo Davies. Central was at home on the cusp of a win, leading Fargo Shanley 1-0 on Tuesday before a late free kick and a 79th minute goal gave Shanley a 1-1 draw. Then Central went to Fargo North, a team that's expected to be very good this year. And later on, when we take a look at our conference standings and drive for the title, you'll see that they're out in front of the Eastern Dakota Conference race. That was a 2-1 matchup in favor of the Spartans. What does that mean? It means that Grand Forks Central can compete with a lot of good teams in this league. What does it mean? It means Red River hasn't scored a goal since their first game of the year, and so they're going to be very hungry to get some goals on the board in this one tonight, and they need it to try to boost their confidence. And it's the start of a big week as we get ready to go into the Labor Day holiday. There's an extra day off coming up next week, so you want to go through this week with some positivity. You want to see if you can come out of here with a win. And then, of course, there's the points towards the Cushman Cup, the traveling trophy between these two teams that is won each year by one of them, perhaps retained, perhaps given over to the other team. And, of course, that's always a lot of fun when we have a rivalry like this as well. So we're going to have a great night for you here this evening. And we have a lot of pregame festivities to bring you tonight as we get started with our player profiles that we're going to have as part of our pregame reports, along with the comments of our coaches that we have coming up tonight. So we hope you'll stay with us for this one, as it should be a great event this evening. Our coverage of high school soccer is brought to you tonight on KNOX Live Sports by Rivard's Turf and Forage, a premium seed dealer in Grand Forks, and you can find them online at rivards.com. They have science on their side at Rivard's Turf and Forage. It's not one and done like the big box stores. They change their seed varieties to match what's going on throughout the course of a growing season. They can do that because they mix right here in Grand Forks. Rivards.com for all of their products, and Grand Trailer Sales, your home for all things trailer. In East Grand Forks, Grand Trailer Sales can fix, repair your trailer, give it the service that it needs, or find your next trailer for whatever it is that you might need as far as getting that trailer out and running. Or if you're hauling for business, hauling for fun, replacement of that trailer, they have you covered as well. East side of East Grand Forks on Highway 2 East, and Grand Trailer Sales and Rivard's Turf and Forage are our premier sports partners for the season. Well, as our pregame report gets going tonight, we have a lot to do. We're going to bring you a player profile from each of these teams this evening and coaches interviews from both as well. And so we're going to get that started with a word from the Red River head soccer coach, Pat Coulter, which is on the way next in our pregame report. Our pregame show this evening is brought to you by Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life at Signature Graphics and Apparel, and brought to you by True North Equipment. True to your values, ready to serve you with 10 locations in the Red River Valley. And our pregame reports and our interviews with our coaches throughout the season are brought to you by Acme Equipment and Acme Tools. Acme Equipment and Acme Tools are your Kubota dealers with a full line of Kubota products to help you do your very best work. You'll find their Kubota products on their lot, on Gateway, across from Simplot. And when it's time to get the tool you're looking for, their main tool store on North Washington has you covered with whatever that do-it-yourself project may require. Acme Equipment and Acme Tools bringing you our coaches' conversations this evening. We start with Pat Coulter, the head coach of Grand Forks Red River. We asked him about the hype that comes into this game, the intensity of playing your crosstown rival to get started tonight. Coach, let's talk about that amp-up factor first and foremost before we get going into what we're going to be dealing with for the points and the scheme and things like that tonight. Just the idea of being able to play Grand Forks Central and going up against your crosstown rival. I know that we talk about it in all the other sports as well, but tell us about the specialty that's there when it comes down to soccer between these two teams.
Well, it's very special. Obviously, anytime you get a chance to play against your crosstown rival, you got a lot of friends and family that'll come out to the game and friends that you're going to play against. And then especially for soccer, it's such a niche community in this town. These are all kids that grew up playing with each other all the time. And so there's an added layer to it there. It's always a very exciting game. It never really matters, where in the standings either team is. It seems like both teams always give each other the best possible game that they can. And so tonight should be a fun one.
It was a kind of a tough week for Red River last week. Obviously had the matchup with South that didn't go your way, and then tried to respond against Fargo Davies and gave up a goal early, but more so just couldn't seem to find, well, maybe it's not fair to say you couldn't find your offense. Your offense was definitely there, just missed a couple of spots at times, but couldn't come out with a win last week. Tell us how the guys have responded getting ready for this week.
Yeah, they had a couple of days off after the Davies game, and we had a couple of days of practice here, and guys were refocused. They were pretty well locked in. They know the task at hand. They know that nothing on the season has been lost yet, and and they're ready to go for tonight.
Let's talk about creating that offense. Did you feel like in that matchup with Fargo Davies, you got the looks you wanted, just couldn't put a goal in the net, or was there something else that was missing? There were times where it was a little bit of a struggle to find some like contained or sustained offense for you. What did you think of your offense in that matchup with Davies?
Yeah, it's still a work in progress here at Red River Soccer. Our issue is always that we don't score enough goals at times, and it's not something that just comes down to the forwards. It's a full 10 guys on the field all at one time trying to accomplish the same goal. Against Davies, I thought that I thought our midfield struggled just a little bit creating chances. I thought our forwards did as well as they could with what they had. But it's a work in progress, and they're going to get there at some point. So
one thing I thought I noticed when we talked in our pregame report about what you wanted to see from your offense about being dangerous and looking to go upfield, they did meet that requirement. When they got the ball or when they had control of it, they didn't hang around. They wanted to get upfield. And so from that perspective, it seems like they're applying the game plan for you right now, Coach.
Yeah, and that's a big thing that we even hammered on the last 2 days is about, when we get that ball at our feet, what are we going to try to do with it? And the one thing that we've all agreed on is the worst thing that we can do is not make a decision. And so that's kind of a big thing going into tonight is, whether you're a midfielder or a defender or forward, whether you make the right or wrong decision or not, doesn't really matter. You've got to make a decision so that others can react to what you're doing. I thought in the South game on Monday, we had too many players that, ball would get to our feet and we just hesitated a little bit. I thought our hesitation was a lot less at the game on Thursday, but it needs to be even less going into tonight.
Then tell us about Central. Obviously, you know this team pretty well. This might be one of those teams that you have a better scouting report on than some of the others that you play. So when you play them tonight, what do you expect out of them? And particularly two teams that are both trying to be more aggressive when they meet each other, what tends to happen? How do you take advantage of it?
It seems like every year that we play Central, we get their best effort from them. And it's never an easy game. Like I said earlier, it really has it doesn't matter at all where you're at in the standings, whether, one team's higher or lower. It's always the best and hardest game of the year. And so I expect a very physical matchup. I expect, Central, they're a team that's kind of dominated by their upperclassmen. And, anytime you go against a team that's got a lot of upperclassmen, there's a lot of pride and passion that's on the line. And it's always difficult to play against teams who have a ton of passion. And so we're going to look to replicate that passion tonight.
Those are the comments tonight from Pat Coulter, the head coach of Grand Forks Red River Soccer, beginning our pregame report this evening. And again, our coaches' comments brought to you by Acme Equipment and Acme Tools, your Kubota dealers in Grand Forks. And we have more to go as we continue along with our pregame report tonight, to include some of our comments from our players this evening. We're going to feature player spotlights tonight from Brady Kirkaby from Grand Forks Central and Owen Martin from Grand Forks Red River. And we'll hear from Austin Englert, the head coach of Grand Forks Central, coming up here a little later in our pregame report tonight as well. Again, our pregame report presented this evening by Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life at Signature Graphics and Apparel. And True North Equipment, your home for those John Deere products that you've come to know and love generationally in our area, with 10 locations to serve you. They're true to your values and driven by you. Cushman Field's going to be a lot of fun in this one tonight. Get ready for it. Grand Forks Central, Grand Forks Red River, they're going to continue in just a couple of moments. We invite you to stay with us for it right here on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales, Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
When you simplify, you have more time for life. Simplify your life with Hugo's Family Marketplace. No time to run to the grocery store? Hugo's can help. Just click on GoHugos.com and place your order online. We'll fill your order, and you can either pick it up curbside or have it delivered to your home or business. It's really that easy. Just go to GoHugos.com for all the details.
More low prices, more great stuff when you go to Hugo's.
Thief River Glass handles it all. Aluminum storefronts, auto glass, windows, shower enclosures, and more. Just like our athletes, we're built for every season. No job is too big or too small. Call 218-681-1333 for year-round dependable service.
When you're looking for a change of pace, a change of routine, or a change of scenery. We'll help you find what's next. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For you, for life.
Ready to launch your future? At Northland Community and Technical College, opportunity starts here. Train for high-demand technical and skilled trades or start with an affordable Associates of Arts degree and transfer with ease. Visit northlandcollege.edu.
The Kubota BX Series, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
For expert sales and service, visit Acme Equipment or online at acmekubota.com.
This is the KNOX pregame show. Brought to you by True North Equipment. True to your values, driven by you. And Signature Graphics and Apparel. Make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school soccer tonight in the Rivard Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. KNOX Live Sports this evening from Cushman Field in Grand Forks, where it's the Cushman Cup tonight as Grand Forks Central gets set to take on Grand Forks Red River. Central will be the home team in tonight's matchup. Red River the visitors in what should be a great Eastern Dakota Conference matchup that we're going to have for you coming up here tonight. Ryan Cunningham with you here tonight from Cushman Field. Well, one of the items that we'll have an opportunity to do throughout the course of this year with KNOX Live Sports is talk to some of the players that make this happen throughout the course of the year. And we're definitely looking forward to that. We call it our athlete profiles or our player profiles that we'll have throughout the course of the season. And we had an opportunity with the first matchup in the Crosstown series between these two teams to get that segment, or that feature, I could say, started here tonight as Central and Red River get set to battle one another. We start with the home team this evening. Brady Kirkaby will be our guest here this evening on KNOX Live Sports as Grand Forks Central has a senior forward tonight, and he'll be the lone forward in the starting lineup tonight for Grand Forks Central. But we had a chance to sit down with the senior from Grand Forks Central here today. We asked about a lot of different things, and as you'll hear in our conversation with Brady coming up, one of his fondest memories, playing soccer with a trio of guys, himself being one of those now at Red River, one of those his teammate. Coach, let's start by talking about that. I mean, obviously, it's easy to get lost in this situation. Our apologies, folks. We went to the wrong interview there. My apologies. We'll get to Austin Englerth in just a bit. Let's get to Brady Kirkaby. Got to be getting excited, Brady, I'm guessing. You ready to roll for this matchup tonight against Grand Forks Red River?
Of course, it's always an exciting day when you're playing Red River, so.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure you're going to give us a great show tonight, Brady. Let's talk a little bit about your experience in soccer. I want to know how you got involved in soccer and what your first cool memory is of soccer going back in time, the thing that kind of sticks out to you from when you were young, and how did you find your way into this sport?
Well, at first I had a few family friends that played soccer, so I guess I kind of just got into it, and my parents put me into it down in the youth one called Snowflake. And then obviously with a few of my buddies enjoyed it a lot, so I just stuck with it throughout my whole life.
All right, and then tell me, when you think back over the memories that you've built in soccer, a cool one, like the first one that you can remember, maybe it was when you scored your first goal when you were younger or something like that, but going back to that Sunflake or Snowflake soccer, what's a memory that you drag out of there that keeps you going today?
It was definitely this trio we had growing up. It's me, Samuel Presting, who plays for Central, and then Rylan Green, who he goes to Red River. I don't think he doesn't play soccer anymore, but he's football now. And I remember just going to games every day and just us three tearing it up out there. It was a lot of fun.
Tell you what, it sounds like it was a lot of fun. Let's talk about the school side of you for Brady Kirkaby. So again, tell me, when you're going to school, maybe a favorite subject or a favorite thing that you like to study while you're at Central High School.
Well, I always loved gym class. I've took one. It's going to be my fourth year, so I'm a senior, and I'm taking one this year even though I don't need to. And then probably my favorite educational or sit down learning subject, I would have to give it to probably marketing. I really enjoy marketing. It's something I'm passionate about outside of school even, so.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about you, the person, outside of soccer and outside of sports. I know that you're active in a few different things, and so when you're not playing a sport, you're not going to school, what might we find Brady Kirkaby doing to spend his time with a hobby or spend his time enjoying himself when he's away from the rigors of being an athlete at Central High?
I always love going down to the lake with a few of my friends. It's always a fun time. We've even hit the pool in town a few times this year, which is a lot of fun. We do pretty much just going around with friends and making memories out of nothing. So.
And that's the way to do it, right? That's the way to have a good time when you're in high school. Let's wrap up with this. You're getting ready to play Grand Forks Red River. You're obviously a Central Knight. Tell us a bit about your favorite thing, if you will, about playing with this Central Knights team or being a Central Knights soccer player.
I feel like it's just the thing at Central where everybody in the school is family. We all got each other's backs no matter what. And if it came down to it, it would be Central being with Central. And it's just, I don't know how to describe it other than family.
Great conversation that we had here earlier today in our feature spotlight with Brady Kirkaby, who's from Grand Forks Central. He'll be the lone forward in the starting lineup tonight for Grand Forks Central as they make some changes in their starting lineups. And we'll have more in our pregame report coming up with our player spotlight from Grand Forks Red River, Owen Martin. And we'll also talk with the head coach of Grand Forks Central, Austin Englerth, before we wrap up our pregame report here this evening. Our pregame report brought to you by Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life at Signature Graphics and Apparel, and brought to you by True North Equipment, true to your values, ready to serve you with 10 locations throughout the Red River Valley. When we come back, our player spotlight from Grand Forks Red River with Owen Martin. We'll also take a look at our game fuel for this evening, tools for the game, brought to you this evening by our friends at State Farm Insurance and Logan Karski. We'll talk about the players to watch in this one, all coming up as our pregame report continues from Cushman Field tonight. It's Central Red River and the Cushman Cup. The online part of it begins this evening here in the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivards Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersales.com.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more, fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics. We craft your vision. You watch it come to life.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. Pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. SprayAdvantage.com.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
The Ski and Bike Shop proudly supports our local high school athletes on the field, the court, and beyond. Just like sports, adventure starts with the right gear. The Ski and Bike Shop, where your next adventure begins.
This is the KNOX pregame show, brought to you by True North Equipment, true to your values, driven by you, and Signature Graphics and Apparel. Make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of Eastern Dakota Conference soccer and high school soccer tonight on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports this evening. It's our pregame report for round one of the Cushman Cup this evening, Central and Red River, and our pregame coverage brought to you tonight by Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life with a full line of custom etching for any material you can think of, wood, plastic, metal, onto apparel. It makes your logo pop, whether it's for sports or for your business. Signature Graphics and Apparel, they're located near the Point in East Grand Forks. They've got you made for custom embroidery as well and vinyl signage. And True North Equipment, true to your values, ready to serve you with 10 locations all throughout the Red River Valley. They're the home of your John Deere products that you've come to know and love generationally. True North Equipment, true to your values, ready to serve you in Grand Forks and throughout the region, bringing you our pregame report this evening. Good to have you along with us here tonight from Cushman Field. It's another soccer matchup, our third so far this season. And this time we're going to start deciding who holds the Cushman Cup for 2025. But it's worth mentioning we're going to be back here on Friday for a pair of games in what should be a great doubleheader coming up on Friday. Grand Forks Central will be at home to take on Bismarck St. Mary's. Bismarck St. Mary's, one of the top 5 teams in North Dakota, according to the pollsters. And then Red River will take on West Fargo Horace coming up on Friday. That'll be a rematch of last year's AA championship game. Horace is now a 3A team. Red River still a 2A team, and Red River was ranked in the top 5 when the first polls came out earlier today. Our pregame coverage on that will get started at just after 3 o'clock. That'll be on radio and video coming up on Friday. And of course, we'll have both football games with kickoff for the first at 4. The second one's at 7. We're looking forward to having you with us again coming up on Friday. Well, we'll continue our player spotlights. One of the men that we had a chance to talk with today, Owen Martin from Grand Forks Red River. He's going to be one of the forwards, or midfielders rather, for Grand Forks Red River when the Rough Riders go out onto the field, or the pitch as it would be tonight. And Owen was a great guy to talk to. Interestingly enough, when we were talking with Owen, when we asked him what subject he really enjoys the most in school, he said he thought it was a little odd. I believe he used the word weird, that he was a math guy. That was rather interesting to find out from Owen today. And of course, when we talked with him about what he does with his spare time, one of the big things that came up that you know all about is that there's not a lot of spare time for athletes out there when they're getting ready for the season. Owen Martin, our player spotlight from Grand Forks Red River tonight. Owen, first of all, thank you for being with us tonight, and tell me first and foremost about your earliest exposure to soccer, how you got involved in this sport, and maybe one of the really cool early memories that you have from playing soccer in Grand Forks.
I would say I got involved when I was younger just because my parents put me in kind of as a kid, they put me in all the sports. So I played in the little kid soccer league, little kid basketball league. I played t-ball, and they kind of just want to see what I liked. And I always thought soccer was the most fun. The first things that I would ever remember would probably be back in kindergarten, first grade, just those little rec games where you're playing on those little pug nets and everyone just kind of running at the ball and kids dogpiling on each other. And those are always fun.
You know, it's not quite the organized game that you play now. I've seen some of those games before, so we know how those go. But it's how a lot of young people get involved in the matchup of soccer. So now that we've covered that, let's talk a little bit more about you in the classroom. Obviously, you're not playing soccer all the time. You've got to go to school and do the thing there. So when you're doing that, tell me what you like to study, maybe your favorite subject in school.
Honestly, kind of a weird answer, but I've always been a math guy. I feel like it comes really easy. It's really natural to me. But if it wasn't that, it'd probably be something like marketing. That's also another thing that I've done for 3 years and about to do for a 4th. And I always think that's interesting and fun.
You know, you don't have to apologize about being a math guy. We like you because you're the guys that kind of know what's going on, right? I'm assuming that's the case, right, Owen?
Something like that, yeah.
We'll go with that. Okay. How about when you're not playing soccer, when you're not playing a sport, when you're not going to school at Red River, your free time, interested in kind of the things that make you tick with a hobby or things that you like to do for fun? What's Owen Martin doing when he's not around the game?
Honestly, this whole summer, it was a lot of sports, a lot of working out, a lot of work. That kind of took up my time, but during the school year or weekends when I wasn't working, it was probably going to with my friends or just hanging out, going to movies, kind of just basic stuff. But I feel like I have a lot of time taken up by sports and working out, so not a whole ton of free time. But
Sure, yeah, free time is at a minimum, so you've got to do what you got to do to have a good time. Well, let's wrap up with this. You're playing for Grand Forks Red River tonight against Central. You're going to play for Red River all throughout the course of the year. So tell me, when you think about your experience at Red River, what is it that you like the most about playing for the Red River Rough Riders and playing with the team that you have this season?
I mean, it's just got to be like my teammates and the atmosphere. I've known these guys ever since I was a little kid. Like, I've been playing with them ever since I was probably like 11, 12 years old. And now it's finally like my senior season. I got one final go, and I feel like the team kind of knows each other. And this could be a really good year for us. We just kind of got to get everything like working and get everything in motion pretty much.
What was great about those opportunities to talk with the players today is down below, when I was on my way up, I ran into the mother of Sam. Opportunity to make those individuals remember where they've been in this game, and it was fun to have them do that with us here today with our player spotlights. As part of our pregame report this evening, again brought to you by True North Equipment and brought to you by Signature Graphics and Apparel. Well, it's time for our second pregame conversation that we're going to have for tonight. And as you can see, we're having a little bit of a video technical issue that we're having down below, so we'll have to try to get that fixed up as quickly as we can. Let's see if we can't get to our coaches' conversation, though, with our opportunity to catch up with the head coach of Grand Forks Central and the head coach of Grand Forks Central, Austin Englerth, previewing tonight's matchup. Coach, let's start by talking about that. I mean, obviously, it's easy to get lost in this situation of all the things that come up with playing your crosstown rival and that type of thing. But let's face it, they didn't come up with points last week in the EDC. You maybe had one that turned from a win into a draw. Everybody's hungry for some positioning. And really the thing that's going to matter out of this one tonight most likely is who gets the 3 points, or if nobody gets 3 points. I mean, there's a lot on the line tonight early in the season.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy starting off second week of the season already that these games mean so much, right? They always do in the EDC. And like you said, both teams will be very hungry after last week, and it's going to come down to who wants it the most, I feel like.
You had a couple of games last week and obviously went into a matchup with Fargo Shanley. Boy, you had that one till the 79th minute. That one was yours. It got away at the very end. I know that there were some things as far as calls in that one. You didn't get a lot of calls to go your way. That free kick probably was a little frustrating. And then you went on the road and played a really good team down in Fargo and came within a goal there as well. So it was a tough week from a results standpoint, but tell me, from what you saw, execution, that type of thing, what type of week you felt you had last week with Central?
Yeah, overall, obviously results are not what you wanted to see, but overall from our team, we saw that we were able to score lots of goals, like we were able to score and be competing the way we want to be. Compared to last year to this year, we're already way more dangerous in the attacking third, which has been great to see. We learned that our group's very hungry, right? They're ready to go do whatever they have to do to make it successful, and they're ready to get back to work. They're excited for tomorrow. After Thursday night's loss, they were ready to go Friday, ready to go Sunday for practice, and let's go. Time to go.
You know, let's talk about that from a standpoint of being more dangerous that you talked about on your offensive third. You could see in the first game that you had against Shanley, you've made that a point that if the ball is there, you want to start going north-south, right? Is that something that you've talked about throughout the course of the year?
Yeah, like last year, you could see that we didn't really have much possession, didn't have much offense going on. So this year, we're trying to really critique it, get these guys going north-south, like you said, go to goal. You have numbers with them to help them out. It's been very successful so far.
Coach, let's talk about Red River. There's some pretty good names over on that side, and they're a lot like you from the standpoint of they're also looking to be more offensively oriented. If you've got two teams that are both looking to exploit when they have the ball, what types of things can happen on breakdowns, and what sort of things do you have to watch out for when you know what you're going to do and they're going to do a lot of the similar things?
Yeah, so playing Red River, obviously we share the same field a lot of the time. We know these players very well. We coach each other in the summertime. Very good bond between all the players, and it's just, it could go either way. Like you said, it could be a blowout tomorrow night, or it could be the closest game we've had all season. You know what each team is going to need to do. Looking at cross chances, looking at counterattacks, could go either way tomorrow night.
And then finally, Coach, let's wrap up with this, a step that you want your team to take. So you've played a handful of games now. You got a little bit of a sample size behind you. So you've been able to see maybe a couple of things that you think you're doing really well, and maybe a thing or two that you know you want to arrest now. You don't want that kind of thing to hang around. So from that perspective, what sort of things do you want to start working toward tonight in the matchup? They're maybe not win-loss related. They're just more about schematics or the way that you approach the match.
Yeah, one thing for sure got to work on is finishing. Right, we were in the box. We got to create a lot of chances, but we just got to bury them. We can't just sit there and keep missing them. I think we need to work on is keep the communication up. We talked about that in our first pregame show of like if our communication's good, our team will be good. But we got to keep that going as well.
As you can hear, our national anthem is taking place in the background. So we will take a break and we will come back with the starting lineups and kickoff for tonight's matchup next.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to grandforkswelding.com.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great-tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with Harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
Nothing feels or performs better than a properly fitted golf club. Whether it's irons, driver, or putter, call us today for your free club fitting. For over 30 years, the Golf Center in Grand Forks has been your club fitting leader.
Pro Ag in Grand Forks and Grafton carries the equipment and parts on hand to make your farming operation run smooth. They carry all major brands like Honeybee, Alloway, Amity, Artex, Hardy, Capello, Monosem, Pickett, Wilrich, and Black Ace. So whether you're trading in, buying, or just need parts, go to ProAgEquip.com to see everything Pro Ag has to offer.
We very much take a lot of pride in our work. Customer service has always been our #1.
We have the best materials. You're going to have the best people in the area to do the job.
If you can dream it up, we can make it happen.
Or head to gworkslf.com to get started.
From tears in your car, truck, boat, or farm equipment seats to making boat covers or complete restorations of the interior of your hot rod, Finest Auto Trim in Grand Forks can make the inside of your rides look brand new. Big or small, Finest Auto Trim can cover it all. To get a quote, go to finestautotrim.com.
This is the KNOX pregame show. Brought to you by True North Equipment. True to your values, driven by you. And Signature Graphics and Apparel. Make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school soccer tonight on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. That'll do it for our pregame report this evening, presented by Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life at Signature Graphics and Apparel, and brought to you by True North Equipment this evening. True to your values and ready to serve you with 10 locations throughout the Red River Valley. Let's take a look at our starting lineups for tonight's matchup. Starting lineup, first of all, for the visitors on the scoreboard this evening, the Grand Forks Red River Rough Riders. Starting goalkeep is senior Andrew Christensen. The starting defenders tonight will be Finn Ranum, a junior, Easton Weiser, a junior, Brady Robertson, a senior, and Colt Panos, who is a junior. In the midfield tonight, James Schindler, a junior, Carson Peters, who is a junior, and William Sickler, who's a junior. And the starting forwards tonight will be Zach Burris, a junior, Owen Martin, a senior, and Maury Kamara, who is a sophomore. Patrick Coulter is the head coach of Grand Forks Red River. Starting lineup tonight for Grand Forks Central. Starting goalkeep is Rylan Dobrovolny. He's a senior. Starting defenders tonight, McCain Kendall, a senior, Grant Harrison, who is a junior, Sam Christman, who is a senior, Caden Peterson, also a senior this evening. Dalvin Samuel will start tonight as a junior, and Bryce Tesson will start as a senior this evening. The starting midfield, Joe Clevin, who is a junior, Zachariah Alshami, who is a junior, and also tonight, Lucas Weber will start as a midfielder, a freshman, and starting tonight as the lone forward is Brady Kirkaby, who is a senior. That's the starting lineup tonight for Grand Forks Central under head coach Austin Englert this evening as we get ready for the kickoff of tonight's matchup between Grand Forks Central and Grand Forks Red River. Well, coming into tonight, here's your standings in the Eastern Dakota Conference, and it's pretty simple. Fargo North is out to a big spot in this one so far this season. They've done all the things that they need to do in order to be pretty darn good this season. A 2-0 mark. They've won both games that they've played in the Eastern Dakota Conference. 2-1 overall, but right now in the league, Fargo North, who was picked in the top 5, is out in front. Now we'll see what the strength of schedule holds. Fargo South with a win and a draw so far this year, 4 points. Fargo Shanley a win and a draw this year, 4. And West Fargo Cheyenne a win and a draw. They've got 4 points as well. Davies a win and a loss with 3. Central's got a point after that win against Fargo Shanley, slipped away late last week on Tuesday. Red River and West Fargo still trying to get on the board for the first time this evening. Fargo South is at North tonight. Fargo Davies is at Fargo Shanley. A little bit of rivalry night going on this evening. And then, of course, we've got tonight Grand Forks Central and Grand Forks Red River getting set to kick things off this evening between the Knights and the Rough Riders. And those are your standings with Drive for the title this evening here on News Radio 1310 KNOX and KNOX Live Sports. Ryan Cunningham with you here this evening. And Sarah McWilliams, our videographer that we have for tonight, as Grand Forks Red River will have the opening kickoff to go their way here this evening. And the Rough Riders are going to send Owen Martin, the man that we talked to earlier today, in our player spotlight. He's going to make his way towards the ball and kick things off for Grand Forks Central. And we are underway with our Cushman Classic Soccer matchup that we have for you tonight. Ball rolling away to the far sideline gives us an opportunity to let you know that our coverage this evening is presented by PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. PS Garage Doors has been serving the area since 1974. The PS stands for Perfect Service at PS Garage Doors. You'll find them at 4733 Demers in Grand Forks, and give them a call if you need service at PS Garage Doors. They bring you our coverage here tonight as well as one of our premier sports partners. Grand Forks Central with a throw-in to get things started on the far side of the field, and this one ends up jostling right in front of the Central bench. Red River will come away with this. Owen Martin in the midfield, taking a look behind him for some support, and a step up for Carson Peters out of the midfield, but a miss towards Maury Kamara on the near side of the field. That one rolls beyond the sideline. Well, the players to watch tonight with our game fuel that we have for you this evening, our tools for the game presented this evening by State Farm. Logan Karski is your new agent for State Farm Insurance in Grand Forks. He will help you put together a game plan for home, auto, life, health, whatever you need protecting for you and your family. State Farm will have a game plan for you, and so will Logan Karski, your State Farm Insurance representative. Owen Martin, one of the men that we talked to tonight. Maury Kamara, we were impressed with Maury Kamara in the matchup that we saw between Red River and Fargo Davies. Very athletic player that can get up and down the field. Brady Robertson played well defensively for Grand Forks Red River in that matchup. And for Grand Forks Central, well, Rylan Dobrovolny, the starting goalkeeper. He is really special, the way that he goes about playing the game. Brady Kirkaby, who we talked to tonight, the lone forward. And then with 6 defenders out there, they're all going to be important. Sam Crispin, a very experienced defender in that regard. He's going to be out there with a big role to play tonight for Grand Forks Central. And that is your game fuel this evening, brought to you by State Farm Insurance and your agent, Logan Karski. In Grand Forks, ball ends up beyond the near line, and we'll see a throw-in coming up for Grand Forks Red River. We are scoreless here this evening. Red River in the white uniforms this evening with red, and Grand Forks Central in the maroon here tonight. And a ball gets up front where Brady Kirkaby looking to make a play with it. Kirkaby tripped up but kept the ball moving forward. Now has to try to run it down to the far sideline, and absorbed a little bit of coverage from Finn Ranham to do so. Leaks one up that far sideline, and that's going to roll beyond the back line. And we'll see a kick coming up on a punt perhaps for Andrew Christensen and Grand Forks Red River. Again, Friday we're back here with football, and we're looking forward to getting things started for a football season here on KNOX Live Sports. It's going to be a great night from Cushman Field Friday afternoon, Friday evening. A couple of non-conference matchups. We'll be talking with both of our head coaches during the pregame on that as well, so join us for that. 3 o'clock is the start time in that matchup. Ball will roll beyond the far line, and this will end up with Grand Forks Red River on the far edge. And we'll see the Rough Riders throwing in. This one will head towards the far corner. Central tries to rally to it defensively. Sam Crispin, one of those starting defenders, stepping into the matchup. This one came dangerously out in front of the net and was broken up immediately by Central. I believe that was Dalvin Samuel that got out to that ball that was put out in front, and that one got all the way over the fence on the far side of the field, so they'll send in a substitute ball, and hopefully they have enough of them to keep playing. Header out of a throw-in from the corner that's going to go beyond the back line, and this is going to turn into a corner for Grand Forks Red River. Well, keys for the game tonight brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. It's always hockey season at Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World, and you can see quick decisions from Red River, more from the midfield. That's a big part of this as we take a look at this corner kick, a header that's missed. Al-Shami trying to get a piece of this to break it out. It comes back out in front. Ryder's going to keep it up front, though. Finn Random was able to knock that down. Weiser off the near side gets hit from behind, and they're going to say play through it. Red River perhaps thought they had some contact. The Central crowd liked it. Owen Martin sending one out to empty space, trying to find Kamara. That's going to roll too far away. Back to our keys, the game, brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. You heard from Pat Coulter, the head coach of Red River. He wants his team making quick decisions and good decisions when they have the ball, and then more from their midfielders. He felt like they struggled a little bit last week. For Central, you got to play the full game. You got to play the full 80 minutes. That's something they're still looking for. The Shanley one was really kind of a miss last week, and then, of course, you have the issues that come up with the matchup with Fargo North as well. And then staying aggressive up front. Obviously, this is a team that's built to be aggressive. That was their game plan coming in. And when the chips are down, you're still going to have to continue to play that way and go out there and try to create some opportunities for yourself. And those are the keys for the game tonight, brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Stop in and see what's new for the season at Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Colt Panos for Red River, trying to bend one back towards the right side of the field. And this is headed back out towards the midfield. Run down on the right side by Easton Weiser for the Rough Riders. Weiser goes down the sideline. This one broken up, and it did get across the line. And so this will go back to Grand Forks Central on a throw-in. Playing into the 6th minute of the opening half, and not much of a scoring opportunity as of yet. A corner that was there partially for Grand Forks Red River, a throw-in from the corner that netted an opportunity, but really not a whole lot of scoring opportunities for either team as of yet. It was interesting to hear in our pregame report today with Rough Rider head coach Pat Coulter. He says that's the problem we always have at Red River Soccer. We don't score enough goals. I don't know if he was, he's just heard that and kind of taking a little sarcastic approach to it, which I like if he did, or if that really has been, we got to score enough, we got to score more goals. And maybe the fans get a little impatient, that kind of thing. But it was interesting to hear Pat Coulter say that. Ball getting loose. Red River end. Brady Robertson looks to run it down, turns and wheels this one out onto the track. And Grand Forks Central will throw in off the far side. Sent towards the net, and Robertson for Red River tries to head it out. Let's go loose as we saw Kirkby try to run it down. Works back out high. Little battle on for control there. Lucas Weber stepped into the play for Central but couldn't control it. Maury Kamara came out with the ball for Red River. Makes a long pass up the field to the right side, trying to find Zach Burris on a streak. Burris made a turn, but that ball was broken up by Central's Caden Peterson, who got over to disrupt the flow of the play, and it ends up beyond the far sideline. So we'll see the Rough Riders with a throw-in on that far edge. Finn Random set to throw it in. Random taking a look. Ball's turned back towards the middle of the field on a header. Owen Martin trying to run it down out in front. And this might be the first long-range strike of the game. It got broken up on the way through, but you were wondering when either team might look to take just some more shots from long range to get something done. That might have been one of the issues both saw last week when they had an opening. Maybe push the ball towards the net and see if you can't make something happen that way. And instead of making the extra pass, those of you that are hockey fans, the term extra pass probably means something to you, and it's a thing that you have in soccer as well. You can have the extra pass factor that comes in with people trying to make that one too many passes to try to open up something perfect. And sometimes early in the year you do that, and then you realize you just have to push one towards the net and see if you can't make something happen with it. Ball out in front, Owen Martin. He makes a nice pass to the right side. Had an opportunity with William Sickler, and a big save by Ryland Dobrovolny, diving out to the left side to knock that one away and keep one out of the net for Grand Forks Red River. Take a look at that again on the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. You'll see this develop rather quickly, and there's the shot that comes in, and Dobrovolny diving over to make sure that he cuts that one off. And that's a huge, huge situation that comes in there. Our apologies, folks. Our apologies, folks. A little bit of muscle memory there. We hit the wrong button. That's going to happen once in a while. So nonetheless, Grand Forks Red River getting the first long-range shot of the game, and a good shot and Ryland Dobrovolny was able to break it up. Off the throw-in, Dobrovolny has to make another play and dives out to get it. So Dobrovolny, a couple of big plays early for Grand Forks Central, something they absolutely need. That's something they're absolutely going to want. And looks like we're going to see some hand contact here from Red River that's going to put us into a situation for a free kick. They're asking for a stoppage of the clock. There might have been an injury behind the play, and it looks like that's the case. And we're going to see the head coach of Grand Forks Central, Austin Englerth, come out onto the field and deal with an injured player. So before the free kick, Grand Forks Central is going to have to make a play, and we'll see what happens for the Rough Riders here. Until that player turns around, I can't really tell you who it is that's going off the field at this point. Maybe Lucas Weber that's headed off, but I don't think so. Midfielder for Weber, and actually he's on the field right now, so it wasn't Lucas Weber. Dobrovolny will kick the ball away. Long range strike down the middle of the field. Ball headed out towards the near edge. And speaking of Weber, there he is. Weber trying to make a pass and get out in front, and he does. And here's a shot for a score off the left side. Zachariah Al-Shami comes up with a play to put Grand Forks Central on the board. Correction, that's not Zachariah Al-Shami. My apologies. That's Sam Christman who comes up. They had him listed tonight at number 5. That's number 6, Sam Crispin, that comes up with the opening goal tonight to make it 1-0 in favor of Grand Forks Central. Take a look at it again in the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. Crispin just hesitating with it, had a chance to strike, and comes up big for Grand Forks Central here tonight. And the Rough Riders will take the opening lead of tonight's matchup 1-0 as Sam Crispin comes up with a goal. So Crispin comes away with the score. That will take place tonight in the 10th minute of the opening half. And Grand Forks Red River down 1-0 to Grand Forks Central, and a goal by Sam Crispin. And again, our apologies. You can't see numbers that far away, and we had Sam Crispin listed as number 5 tonight. He is actually number 6 in the lineup this evening, and so that's why we got those confused. And the defender, who must be playing a midfield spot tonight for Grand Forks Central. He's listed as a defender, but they started 6 of those tonight, so they've mixed and matched some personnel as well. Nonetheless, he comes up with a goal to make it 1-0 in favor of Grand Forks Central, and now the Riders will have to make a play in the far sideline. So Red River has one go beyond the far line. And we will see a corner kick coming up for Grand Forks Red River. I believe, no correction, this is a throw-in for the Rough Riders. It takes a hop out in front. Kamara was trying to wheel at it, but the ball didn't quite make it to him. And a battle out in front for control. This comes back towards the near side, and a play up the field for Dalvin Samuel. Samuel got it out to the midfield, and Crispin keeps it going. And all of a sudden, here comes Kirkaby. Kirkaby gets tripped up by Andrew Christensen. As Kirkaby was about to get loose, Christensen comes over and puts a trip up on him to take an opportunity away from Grand Forks Central. The spot where Kirkaby was at, nobody in front. He gets control of that. Christensen came out as the last man standing, and that's going to be a walk-in for Kirkaby to put that one through. So another near miss for Grand Forks Central, and a breath of fresh air perhaps for Grand Forks Red River as Christensen has to come up and disrupt the play coming up the field from the Knights again. But right now Central playing loose and playing aggressively out there this evening, and they've got the 1-0 lead and also some great scoring opportunities. William Sickler for Red River trying to bleed one up the field on the right sideline. Zach Burris looking to run it down. And this ball sticks on the far boundary. McLean Kendall will turn this back up the field for the Knights. Back out to the right for Finn Ranum. That ball will end up beyond the far line. Let's go back to that play again on the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. And here's the pass coming up to Kirkaby where he got through. And if Kirkaby gets past Christensen, he's going to go all the way to the net. But Christensen making a good sliding tackle to keep that one from becoming a scoring opportunity. And it keeps Grand Forks Central off the board for a second time.
And for the Knights, number 9, Nabi Wadrago, and number 17, Zachariah Mohammed.
Abi Nadrago will come into the matchup, or rather, Nabi Adrago will come into the matchup. And Zachariah Mohammed will come in as well for Grand Forks Central. 1-0 on the All True scoreboard. Scoreboard updates are brought to you by All True. Regular screenings with All True's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Stay in the game of wellness. Schedule an appointment. Visit alltrue.org or call 780-5000. Ball thrown far sideline. And a long trek to get back to it. This is turned up on the far side. Owen Martin trying to come away with it, working out of the midfield. Leaves this one out in front. Long run to get to it for Red River's Carson Peters. He'll make a long-range strike, and Dobrovolny goes up to bring that one down for Central. One big stop early for Ryan Dobrovolny, so he's been called upon here already tonight. Dobrovolny puts this one up in the air, and a little bit too much legger to this one, perhaps. He did drive it back out to midfield. Probably had designs on sending it a bit further. Kamara, pass towards the right side for James Schindler. Now a ball out in front, a look, and a turn by William Sickler. That gets disrupted by Central. Ball comes back to center, and Nabi Adrago trying to get loose for the Knights. Adrago looking to come back across the formation from left to right. Leaves it out in front for Mohammed. Back to Adrago trying to run it down on the far sideline. Did a nice job of turning the body to keep that in bounds, and so clank off of a Knight out of bounds. Red River will have an opportunity to throw in. Stoppages in play brought to you this evening by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of ag tires in the region, and Apex Apparel, your hometown quick turnaround family-owned promotional shop in Grand Forks. 1-0 in favor of Grand Forks Central. And a ball off the far sideline that Red River will throw in. Goal coming tonight from Sam Chrisman for Grand Forks Central in the 10th minute. That's the lone scoring so far in this matchup. Lots of physicality out there. Schindler bodying up with Mohammed. This comes away with Carson Peters. Peters tried to split a pair of defenders, had men up the field, couldn't find them. Back near side, a play trying to find Kamara, that from Colt Panos. This works out to the right side. Pass looking up the field for Mohammed. Broken up by the Rough Riders. Back to center for Owen Martin. Martin trying to step out towards the right. Long range strike up the field that's headed down. Caden Peterson may have been the man that went out on the injury earlier. Peterson comes up with a header to break up that play. Back out towards the middle. Touched by William Sickler to the far boundary. Sickler has it back, being chased from behind by Bryce Carinta, who stepped in. Now a ball out in front for Red River, and there will be a whistle and a breakage of play. Riders may have got a hand on it. 1-0 in favor of Central. We're into minute number 16 of the opening half. And the kick is away from Ryland Dobrovolny. Comes out on the middle, ball off to the right side. Riders sending in Max Grafenauer for his first opportunity tonight. Grafenauer trying to get free. And he'll come back into the play on the right side to take one away from Bryce Carinta. Then Carinta was able to break that up. Ball back towards the central end. And we see Owen Martin back to it again. Now Colt Panos. Panos stopping high, playing one back towards Grafenauer. It hung up a bit. Grafenauer trying to run back into the play, and we see a whistle. Some contact from behind, maybe a free kick here for Red River. And this is going to be a scoring opportunity. So an opportunity here for Grand Forks Red River on a free kick from the right side in the goalie box here. And a chance for the Rough Riders to get something done. They'll actually bring it back outside the box. And from the right point, if you will, an opportunity for Red River. They could target the goal here if that's what they want to do. Dobrovolny setting up for Central back in the net. And the free kick will be taken by Carson Peters. Peters keeps it low, looking for something deflected on the ground, and it comes back out to him instead. Ranham looking up the field. Ball broken up. Red River trying to come back to it. This will float back to Grafenauer on the right sideline. Grafenauer trying to make a move off that sideline. Stopped along the way. Peterson sent it back out towards the midfield. It's run down by Easton Weiser. and Weiser will push the ball beyond the far boundary. Central leading 1-0. Scoreboard updates tonight brought to you by Alltrue. Regular screenings with Alltrue's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Stay in the game of wellness. Schedule an appointment. Visit alltrue.org or call 780-5000. Ball off the right side. Owen Martin looking to make a play. Moves off the right sideline. Boy, he was able to just kind of slice his way through the Central defense. Grafenauer comes back with it off the right side. Now Grafenauer trying to make a move between defenders. That broken up on the right. Peterson sends it back out. It will come back out towards the right point for Finn Ranum. Back to the right, Sickler looking to make a turn. Down the sideline for Grafenauer. He's confronted by Peterson. Ball ends up beyond the boundary. And Red River's going to have a throw-in. Red River's got a lot of time up the field here as of late. Since the goal and the miss by Central, Red River's been aggressive. They've kept the ball up front, but they've been denied a really good scoring play here. That's really what they're missing at this point. We'll see Poto DeCooley coming into the matchup for Red River. Ball comes out to Owen Martin. Martin trying to drift away from some pressure. Ball stuck out on top of the formation. Drifts its way back towards the near side. A run to the near side by Carson Peters for Red River. Along the boundary, Zach Burris trying to make his way to the corner. Left it out, was trying to find DeCooley. DeCooley just missed on it. Ball broken up and then sent up the field deeply by Central. Long run to get back to it for Finn Ranum for Red River. Ranum a turn and drifts one beyond the far boundary, and this will be a throw-in for Grand Forks Central on the far edge. On the left edge, Central moving from left to right as we take a look at it tonight, right to left for Grand Forks Red River. And the throw-in's on the right side. Comes back towards midfield on a couple of deflections. That was Bryce Tesson. That was the man that was injured earlier. We were just able to identify that now. Bryce Tesson came out to midfield and was controlling it. And Tesson was the man that was down on the injury earlier in the matchup for Grand Forks Central, but appears to be none the worse for wear at this point. And we'll see a rider throw in. Finn Ranum set to throw across. Kept it short. This is broken up, played back towards the far boundary. High play in the air down the far sideline. Tesson again trying to step in for Central. Corralled by Red River Rough Riders. Owen Martin's been all over the field tonight for Red River. He's been very good watching this one tonight. This comes back out to Brady Robertson, and we've got a collision that's going to lead to a free kick for Red River. So the Riders will have a free kick after a collision on the far side of the field. And I believe Owen Martin's going to take the kick, and we'll see how Red River chooses to play it. Couple of stragglers off to the left. A lot of pressure out in front of the net. And Martin's going to take a shot right towards the net. There was a header that was there. That found the way to Brady Robertson. Robertson just couldn't twist that the right direction. Ends up sending it out towards the sideline rather than towards the net. But Red River had the play that they were looking for. And now the Riders will have a throw-in on the far edge as this one makes its way into minute number 22 coming up here in just a moment. DeCooley sends it out front. Run to get back to it here for Crispin, trying to turn his way up the field. He's got an angle to run with, and we'll just play this one deep. Robertson, the first man back for Central, and they're going to send this back to Christensen in the box to make a play. Christensen will send this back out to midfield. Crispin is there to make a play with it. Bounced off to the right for James Schindler and the Rough Riders. DeCooley was offside. He wanted to play, but he was way out in front of the defense, had to slow things down, and now we see a whistle, and Central is going to come up with a free kick on the far edge. Again, our stoppages of play tonight are brought to you by Apex Apparel. They're your hometown quick turnaround, family-owned and operated promotional shop in Grand Forks. You'll find them on Demers. They work with a lot of the area teams. And your business as well for promotional products along with apparel. And Big Jim's Tire, the #1 supplier of ag tires in the region, is Big Jim's Tire. They're going to keep you moving this harvest season. They don't want you to suffer downtime, and we know that there's a lot of crop to bring in this year. So when you're bringing it in, count on Big Jim's Tire to keep you rolling when it comes down to tires. Red River throw-in on the right side of the field. James Schindler trying to make a play up the field. Pat Coulter, the head coach of Red River, had said he wanted to see more from the midfield tonight. That's what he was. That's what he wanted to see. He wanted to see the midfielders get more done for Grand Forks Red River. Martin stepping back. A turn off the right side. Leaks one through in the midfield. They try to come back for Colt Peters. Broken up. Back up the field. A look by Central. They were trying to lead one up the field for Zachariah Muhammad. This comes back to Crispin out in front, who's got the lone goal tonight. He plays one up front, but no one there but Brady Robertson for Red River. Back to Crispin on the right side for Central. He's going to make a turn off the right angle. Had Muhammad out in front. Stops the ball, tries to make a play with it, and ends up having the ball go out of bounds off of a Rough Rider. And Delvin Samuel will come over to throw in for the Knights. Off the right side of the field. Samuel taking a look for his opportunities. Seeing some changes. Zachariah Alshami will come in for Central. Brady Kirkaby's going to come back in. Corinta's going to come back in as well. Ball out in front. Dalvin Samuel heading one back to the midfield. Stop on the right. And corralled on the right side is Zachariah Alshami. Alshami got loose. Tesson plays one up looking for Kirkaby, who was oh so close to a goal earlier. Tesson again plays one up the middle. Crispin tried to get around a pair of defenders, and Andrew Christensen came up to join them and had the net left open there for a moment. That was maybe a dangerous moment for Grand Forks Red River. And now our official looks for another stoppage of play here. And it looks like we may have like a cut. Zachariah Alshami coming off, sort of holding his right arm limp, almost as if it's either injured or it's cut. So he's coming off the field. Grant Harrison will come back in for him for Grand Forks Central. And Dalvin Samuel set to throw the ball in for the Knights. Samuel ready, throws in. Ball up front, picked up by Red River's Easton Weiser. Still up in the air, this one gets by. Zachariah Muhammad had an angle. Kirkaby came away with it, but they may have ruled offsides. Kirkaby was about to make a move to his left foot and then slowed up. Obviously heard a call on the field, and I believe the call was possibly offside for Grand Forks Central, and that will give the Riders an opportunity to kick out. So Christensen will play it away. The goal keep for Grand Forks Red River. Deep kick out to midfield. Good kick. Central gets a head on with Lucas Weber, the freshman who's out there as a defender tonight. Ball right side for Red River, and taken up there by Finn Ranum. He'll push down the field looking for DeCooley. DeCooley a stop, trying to pull away from a defender. He was fronted pretty hard over there on the right side by Joe Clevin. A midfielder stepping in and playing some solid defense, and now Red River will have a throw-in up front. So the Riders will throw in. And the ball comes up towards the right side. So come out to the middle of the field. A turn and a look here by Zach Burris, trying to find an angle to get around the defense of Alshami or perhaps Samuel. I believe it was Samuel. And that was a good run towards the near side by Zach Burris, but pretty good defense that time by Delvin Samuel. Didn't really give Burris an angle to turn and do anything with it. Ryland Dobrovolny will kick this ball away. Muhammad trying to get ahead on it. Ball will roll out towards the near side. Tough play that time against Lucas Weber, trying to control the ball. Couldn't bring it down. And Red River will throw in 1-0. Lone goal, 10th minute. Sam Chrisman for Grand Forks Central has the Knights on top a goal. Ball to the near side. DeCooley for Grand Forks Red River. DeCooley tied up in the corner. My goodness, is that an aggressive pushing and shoving match over on the near sideline. It looks like Red River's going to have a throw in, but in that situation, McCain Kendall came over and got plenty of contact in on DeCooley from behind. And then DeCooley decided to respond, and that turned into a pretty physical jockey for position. It's going to lead to a free kick for Grand Forks Red River that is essentially a corner kick. Zach Burris will kick it for the Riders from the left. So Burris stands ready. Sends this one a little too deep for the formation. End up sending it across the field. And Robertson tries to run it down on the far side of the field. Plays right along that back line. Turns it out in front. Kirkaby trying to step back into the play. Kirkaby a turn. able to hold up off of some contact, made a back pass, and comes away with the ball somehow. That was a nifty piece of ball handling by Central, but Robertson comes back to it. Red River keeps it right in Central's end, and this will be pooched out of bounds by Joe Clevin of Central. So Red River will have a throw in up front. Still down a goal as this one about to move into minute number 28 of the opening half. And really, Red River has not been around a scoring opportunity yet. Central's had a couple of them. One near miss with Kirkby, the goal they scored. They've had some chances. Red River has been contained a bit in this one tonight. Maury Kamara sends this one up high. A turn there, a look by Burris, but he couldn't get free. This is punted in the air. Robertson coming over trying to contain and keep it up front. Ball got behind him. Crispin looks to come back to it for Central and sends this back towards the right side. And a ball knocked down, nicely done by Burris, who gets away. He's got an angle on the left, tries to come to a stop, does, keeps the ball with him, corralled by a pair of defenders as he moves into the corner, ends up beyond the back line, and we'll see what we see here. This is going to go back to Grand Forks Central. Boy, the Knights weren't going to be attacked from the corner. Burris got loose in the left corner, and the Knights came over quickly and got after Burris with a lot of pressure. They had him double-teamed in the corner to keep him from an easy angle at the net. Rylan Dobrovolny will kick it away. Comes back out towards Muhammad. Headed down back in the middle of the field by James Schindler. Owen Martin back towards Schindler in the midfield for Red River. Schindler turns and comes up for Zach Burris. He took a shot from behind from Samuel, and Red River's going to have a free kick. It has been a physical matchup out there. Perhaps you'd expect that in a game between Central and Red River, but it has definitely been physical in this one tonight, no question about it. And that will likely continue throughout the course of the game. I would expect nothing different throughout the course of the night here tonight. I think we're going to see something pretty unique between these two. Dobrovolny over the top to knock a ball away with the defense behind him. Dobrovolny is down on the turf, hurt, and we're going to see an injury stoppage here. Dobrovolny came out to make a big play, and we're going to see an injury stoppage in the matchup as Rylan Dobrovolny is down for Grand Forks Red River holding his sternum. We're going to have a break in the action. We'll come back with more in a couple of moments, so do stay with us here on KNOX Live Sports.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting someone who pays attention to the little things that make a big difference. And to keep your family cool this summer, it takes Bryant.
Connect with Thermal Air today, your Bryant certified dealer.
In Grand Forks, it's about more than just where you live. It's about the people you trust when life happens.
At Logan Karski State Farm, we're proud to protect what matters most. I'm Logan Karski with State Farm, and we'd be honored to be your good neighbor.
When the lights go out, count on the pros. Bergstrom Electric in Grand Forks, the area's largest full-service electrical contractor. From commercial builds to homes, they're trusted for quality, safety, and award-winning work. Call today, 701-775-8897.
Pop up and go to work, and they put this right back in play. Owen Martin with an opportunity to put it down and ends up having a ball deflected. Sam Crispin takes a couple of looks upfield, sent one back over towards Muhammad, and this will be kicked out of bounds by Brady Robertson. And Central's going to have a throw in. So I'm not really sure how they ruled that one. They were in the process of having an injury timeout in that situation after Dobrovolny looked like he was struggling to get up. And then in the long run, turns out to go away. And now here's a play upfield coming up for Red River with some contact behind it. And we're going to see a stoppage of play here as well. And we may see a yellow card coming out for Grand Forks Red River, and it looks like we will. Or rather for Grand Forks Central, I will say. A yellow card coming out for Grand Forks Central. So it looks like the yellow will come out. We're going to see a free kick coming up for Grand Forks Red River, as this has been a very physical battle tonight. And the officials are going to have a hard time trying to keep control of this if it continues to play this way. And now William Sickler is going to have a free kick for the Rough Riders. 1-0 game in favor of Central. Red River trying to strike back. William Sickler has a free kick from deep inside Central territory and facing the goal. Teams look to get their personnel in the mix of this. Play is stopped right now. The clock is stopped. 30th minute of the opening half. And Red River has an opportunity with William Sickler and a free kick. Dobrovolny trying to scout out the play from Sickler and close off the wall. Sickler ready, strikes at it, and that's going to go up and over the bar. Too strong for William Sickler. Big moment there that was an opportunity for Grand Forks Red River, but it comes up off the board. Looked like he tried to target high and sneak up and over Ryland Dobrovolny. That's been a tough place to score so far this year. Dobrovolny's been pretty good in being able to elevate and get up and make some stops just underneath the crossbar. Robertson will send this one up the field. Ball comes back towards the right. Once again, Zach Burris trying to come up the field. Gets run off the spot by Lucas Weber. Weber will play this one away. Towards the sideline, going to be too strong. And this will head back into the hands of Grand Forks Central, rather of Red River. So the Rough Riders will have a throw in off the near side. 1-0 in favor of Central. We're into minute 31 of the opening half. And a play off of Weber that will go back. The initial call, I believe, was Red River's. Now they're reacting as if Central is going to have this throw in, and they will. So the Knights will have a throw in, and Caden Peterson will toss it across. And this will be headed out of bounds by the Rough Riders. Play made over the top by James Schindler. And Central will have another throw in. Coming up at halftime, we'll take a look at some of the highlights of the opening half of this matchup, so stay with us for that. Halftime report will be brought to you by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water. Your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. Peterson a throw in for Central. Got it near the net. Ball's up for grabs out in front. Will come back out towards the midfield. Getting back to that ball was Brady Robertson for Grand Forks Red River, and Colt Panos also got a piece. It's off the right side. Schindler looking to turn and go up the midfield with it. Schindler, a long run to the middle of the field, was able to open up Owen Martin. Martin back towards the right. Looking back towards Schindler on the near side of the field. He'll stop it up to the near side for Zach Burris. Burris looking to make a play, came to a stop instead. Lucas Weber was able to stop him up. Good defensive play, though, getting back Carson Peters to keep the ball up. Burris to Martin, he's got room. Martin coming back to center, going to make a long-range strike of it and sends it wide. Had a good look. Martin had to make a couple of decisions, and that's what you've heard from the head coach of Grand Forks Red River, Pat Coulter, in our pregame report tonight. Red River, they want making decisions, good decisions, quick decisions. Owen Martin had an opportunity there, made that extra dribble, if you will. And you may have wanted him to just turn and strike right at the net the first opportunity he had to get the ball. I mean, that might have been the way you wanted that to be set up for him. And it's early in the season. They'll continue to break that down. Martin off the right side, little give and go play. Leads this one up the sideline, trying to get a strong run on the right from Cooper Groven, a senior that's checked in for the Rough Riders. That'll be broken up defensively. Comes back out towards the right. Red River has James Schindler trying to control in the midfield. It's be turned back towards the right. Popped in the air by Finn Random. Owen Martin makes a play of it. Comes back up towards the right. He's able to find William Sickler, and the ball ends up again beyond the far boundary and well beyond the fence. And the Riders will have a throw in. We're about to move into minute number 34 of the opening half. Ball up in the air. Kamara trying to wield and kick up over his head. Ball back to the right, and a little shank type of play with the left foot that time from James Schindler. Good play, but Ryland Dobrovolny had snuffed it out. And Dobrovolny will send this one back for Grand Forks Central. Still 1-0. The lights are on here. And the ball coming up the field. Long run coming up the field for Grand Forks Central's Nabi Adrago. And Adrago trying to run it down in the corner. And the ball along the boundary. This one's going to go back towards a throw-in, I believe, for Grand Forks Red River. We're back here again on Friday. Our coverage of high school football gets going that night. And it should be a fun one coming up on Friday with a doubleheader. Bismarck St. Mary's comes in to take on Grand Forks Central. And then Grand Forks Red River will open up their season with West Fargo Horace, the team they were on the field with a year ago in the state championship game. They'll play to start things off this season. KNOX Live Sports right here, wherever you're finding this, on our YouTube channel, on our website. And we'll have game one on KNOX Radio as well that night, that afternoon, I should say, before we have to turn things over to the Minnesota Twins. Ball off the right side. Maury Kamara trying to make a move to get away from defensive pressure. Does. Made a little pass across the formation, trying to center it up. Had Owen Martin out in front. Now a chance coming right from Panos, I believe. Yeah, it was Colt Panos had a chance at that, but that one was blocked by Central's defense. Panos tries to keep it up the field, turns it back towards the right, and this will end up off of the foot of Red River's Cooper Groven and back to Central. So the Knights will have another one back. So Grand Forks Central looking at another throw-in opportunity. With the clock dwindling down here, Red River able to stop it up. Again, there's been, after the first couple of plays that one resulted in a goal, one nearly a goal for Grand Forks Central, the vast majority of this game has been played north, if you will, of the central 50 or up midfield, and that would be on the central side of the field. Kamara trying to get free, ends up leaving one beyond the back line. Central's made a couple of pretty good defensive plays that have kept Red River off the scoreboard so far tonight, but really they haven't had much of an opportunity to get back up the field and do anything on their own since those two plays, one that resulted in a goal and one that came up just short earlier in the game. Ball ends up to the near side of the field once again. And we'll see Red River with a throw-in. Ball comes into the corner. Pretty active game tonight for Red River's William Sickler and Zach Burris. And that time Sickler was the target, but couldn't quite reel in the ball to make a play. We'll see Rylan Dobrovolny set to kick it away. Dobrovolny sends one back to midfield. Battle for control there. Long range strike trying to find Kirkaby. Long run out to get to it for Christensen, and the goalkeeper for Red River becomes the final defender coming way up the field to take a ball away from Kirkaby, who's been looking for that chance to break out tonight. Now Kamara trying to run it on Caden Peterson, and Peterson will dump it away into a throw-in opportunity for Red River. So just a brief moment up front for Grand Forks Central. And once again, Red River is right back on the central end of the field with a throw-in and some control. Pass across the formation. Here's a step in on the right for Red River's James Schindler. A try by Pano. Schindler tries to control. This is broken up. It comes back out towards the near edge. Knocked down there by Carson Peters. Peters will drift this all the way into the corner where he's fronted by Chrisman. Ball back up on top. Here's an opportunity. Shot and off the crossbar. That was knocked away by Rylan Dobrovolny after James Schindler again went up high, tried to target Dobrovolny high. Dobrovolny got a hand on it and pushed it up off the crossbar. It'll result, I believe, in a corner kick for Grand Forks Red River. So the Riders will have a corner. We are into minute number 38. And a corner kick coming up for Grand Forks Red River. And the corner will be taken off the near side by Martin, who keeps it low. It's headed right back to him. So we'll see another corner coming up for the Rough Riders. And a play, actually, it'll be a throw-in off the near side for Red River. That's Carson Peters set to throw it in. So Peters throws it in. It's be headed back out up front and quickly played away, I believe, by Weber beyond the near sideline. And Peters will come back over and throw another in for the Rough Riders. And quickly headed out again, this time by Sam Chrisman, who's got the lone goal tonight. 1-0 on the all-true scoreboard. Just the lone goal tonight so far for Sam Chrisman. Ball knocked up in the air to the near side. It's be pushed back down towards the boundary and end up out of play. Our coverage tonight brought to you by PS Garage Doors. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks and Devils Lake. The PS stands for Painless Shopping. If it's time for a new garage door, they have you covered at PS Garage Doors. See them in their warehouse, 4733 Demers, right on the other side of the I-29 overpass in Grand Forks. We'll have a free kick coming up for Red River as we go into minute number 40 of the opening half. Our halftime report coming up. We'll take a look at the highlights of the opening half, so do stay with us. Ball back out in front, broken up for Red River. Stop as the play goes loose, back in front again. Another ball leaks through. Owen Martin with a chance just wide of the net. Boy, another opportunity for Grand Forks Red River that's right there and comes up empty. Owen Martin got his left foot on it, and that's the type of play that you want Owen Martin to make in that situation. He had a chance, he turned and took the shot, and ended up just wide of Ryland Dobrovolny. Dobrovolny keeps this one low, comes out, clanks off the chest of Colt Panos, and will drift across the field after a deflection. And we're about to drift into the final 10 seconds of the half. Red River going to make one more run at this, down by a 1-0 margin. Clock ticking off in the background. Owen Martin trying to catch up to a ball. Put this one out in front. Nice play again by Owen Martin. Dobrovolny comes over the top, and that's going to be the end of the opening half. Red River down 1-0 to Grand Forks Central. The Knights score in the 10th minute of the opening half. And nothing since then, as Red River's been all around it and just has not been able to find one into the back of the net. And that'll be the end of the first half that we have for you this evening. Our halftime report brought to you by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. And we'll come back with that halftime report coming up here in just a couple of moments, so do stay with us. This is our coverage of high school soccer on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales, Sports Network, and KNOX Sports.
When you need the right part for your pickup, head to Northwood or call Mike's Custom Truck. Amanda will drop ship any part you need: turbos, upgraded fuel pumps, Edge products, and more. Mike's Custom Truck, 587-6335.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Hey, this is Pastor Paul. I'd like to welcome you to Hope Church, especially if you're a person that doesn't have a place where you hang out spiritually. We would love for you to come and experience hope and find God. Hope Church, 9, 10:30, and 6 p.m. on Sundays. For more information, you can check out gfhope.org.
Pick 6 for $19.99, a perfect meal for two.
That's gotta rhyme.
Well, how about munching on Pick 6, my mouth going yap, yap. People always staring at my wings, they go flap, flap. Dave is so surprised because he didn't know I'd rap. Pick 6 meal for two for $19.99.
H&S Electrical Services is proud to support local high school sports. From homes to industry, we deliver safe, reliable electrical solutions. Locally owned and operated, our skilled team ensures quality and service you can trust. H&S, trusted in your homes and businesses.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
Nothing feels or performs better than a properly fitted golf club. Whether it's irons, driver, or putter, call us today for your free club fitting. For over 30 years, the Golf Center in Grand Forks has been your club fitting leader.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivards Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersales.com.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Well, it's tight and it's physical tonight, as you would probably expect between these two teams here at Cushman Field. It's the Cushman Cup. Grand Forks Central, Grand Forks Red River doing battle tonight, and right now it's Central with a 1-0 lead as we make our way into halftime tonight. We welcome you to our halftime report this evening here on KNOX Live Sports. Our halftime report brought to you this evening by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and brought to you by Grand Forks Welding and Machine. They are the Men of Steel in Grand Forks. Well, the thing that really stands out from the first half has been the physicality in this matchup, and it has been physical. We've seen plenty of stoppages of play, handful of free kicks that have been out there in this one as well. One good scoring opportunity for Central they capitalized on, one good scoring opportunity that they didn't capitalize on. A handful of near misses on what you would call maybe medium to good scoring opportunities, but Red River still trying to break down that Central defense. They haven't quite been able to find their way into breaking that down yet. We'll see if they can find a way in the second half, but you're seeing Red River slowly begin to make some quicker decisions with the ball, which is something that Pat Coulter wants, but Central's been aggressive when they could be. Really, the main part of this outside of the physicality is that Central has not been in Red River's end a whole lot of the night tonight. It's been more Red River being up and controlling the ball in Central's end. They just have not had the opportunity to put anything away offensively, and that's now 7 halves that Grand Forks Red River has been shut out in tonight, and they're desperately trying to break out of that situation that we have for you this evening. Let's take a look at what we have as far as our highlights for tonight, and we'll take you back to the lone goal that's been scored so far tonight and a near miss that came up as well in the matchup. The first was a near miss, an opportunity from Grand Forks Red River early in the game, and you see a diving stop by Ryan Dobrovolny that was able to keep that one from going into the net. Then a ball gets loose to Sam Crispin coming up the field. Crispin gets behind the defense and scores. The lone goal in the matchup at this point makes it 1-0 in favor of Grand Forks Central. And then another near miss. This is Kirkaby coming up the field, and if he does not come away tripped here, he's going to go all the way in and score. That was a big play that came that direction from Andrew Christensen, the goalkeeper for Grand Forks Red River, to knock that play away. And so in that situation, it really was an opportunity for the goalkeeper of Red River to step in and make a play at that point. But those are the highlights that we have from the opening half, and our highlights in the opening half brought to you this evening by our friends at High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and brought to you by Grand Forks Welding and Machine. They are the men of steel as they bring you our halftime report that we have for you this evening. We're going to come back with more in a couple of moments as we continue with halftime, including getting you ready for a big night coming up on Friday, and that should be a great night of football coming up on Friday, and we'll get ready for the second half of this matchup tonight as well. Central Red River, the Cushman Cup, and it's Central 1-0 over Red River as we continue with our halftime report next on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Sports.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
If you've got an electrical emergency, call RBB Electric. We are your 24/7 electrician. Your call will always be answered by an RBB employee ready to help 24/7. RBB Electric is on time every time. Your time is valuable, and we don't waste it. RBB Electric always calls ahead to schedule service. We are online always. If you suffer from slow download speeds, call our certified network designers and installers. On call, on time, and online. RBB Electric won't leave you in the dark. RBB Electric, your 24/7 electricians.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics, we craft your vision, you watch it come to life.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. Pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. SprayAdvantage.com.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
The Ski and Bike Shop proudly supports our local high school athletes on the field, the court, and beyond. Just like sports, adventure starts with the right gear. The Ski and Bike Shop, where your next adventure begins.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to grandforkswelding.com.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great-tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Halftime report this evening brought to you by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. Get the chemicals out, get the taste into your water at High Plains Water. You're going to have softer water, better for your skin, appliances that last longer, and you're not going to have any more scaly buildup around your fixtures. High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. And Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. Grand Forks Welding and Machine is ready for you this harvest season. If you have holes that need tightening, or if you have a broken or twisted shaft, call Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and let them make sure that you're taken care of. At Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. Ryan Cunningham with you here this evening as we make our way into the second half. Round one of the Cushman Classic tonight. Grand Forks Central leading Grand Forks Red River by a score of 1-0 at this point, and we saw Maury Kamara just about to get away up the field for Grand Forks Red River, and that one going to scoot away. And so Grand Forks Central will get the ball back, but you see a very big piece of aggression coming out from Red River in the early going here as they know that they're desperate right now. It's been 7 halves since Grand Forks Red River scored a goal, and that's something obviously that they're probably concerned about tonight, and perhaps for good reason. They had an outpouring of offense, scored 6 goals in the opening game against Minot North, and since then they have not been able to find the back of a net with a goal so far in these last few games, including a 0-0 draw with Jamestown. Ball on the right side of the field. Kamara trying to come away, got free. Defense was there, but the ball just offline trying to find Kamara. Ryan Dobrovolny comes over and scoops one up for Grand Forks Central. Dobrovolny puts one up in the air, and this will drift back deep into Red River's end. Robertson over to pick it up for the Rough Riders. It's be knocked free on the right side. A turn back up by Carson Peters. Peters taking a look, leads one along the sideline, gets it back from Kamara. Now Peters off towards the left. That ball kicked out of bounds by Central, but again, you can see Red River really starting to impose their will the way they did in the the balance of that first half. This was a Red River first half of play. They just didn't put a ball in the net, but it was all about them being up in Grand Forks Central's business throughout the course of that half. And we'll see some more contact, a whistle, and it looks like another free kick coming up. So Red River's going to have a free kick here and an opportunity within striking distance here. They've got the chance to send one towards the goal if they want to target it from this distance. Down 1-0 in the 3rd minute of the second half, in the 43rd minute of the game. Owen Martin going to step back and take the free kick, get some instructions from Pat Coulter on that sideline. Martin waiting for the personnel to sort themselves in front. And here he comes. He'll take an approach and chips towards the goal, and Dobrovolny trying to get his hands up on it, ends up going through his hands. There might have been a rider hand on it as well, and Dobrovolny apparently successfully pleads his case that this ball is going to be Central's to kick away. So Dobrovolny will kick it away. Ball comes out to midfield. A run to get over to it for Finn Ranum for Red River. Peterson keeping it out, comes back towards middle of the field. Schindler trying to open something up. Burris from range, being hit from behind. He keeps it back on the right, and the ball ends up nearly going beyond the boundary. Colt Panos somehow kept that along the line. Turns it back to the middle for Sickler, and the ball gets broken up. Now Central looks up the field. Long range pass towards the near side. Crispin ran it down. Looks to make a move, comes back to his right, tries to plant one across the field, and went looking for Brady Kirkaby. Kirkaby might have been out of bounds, or rather offside, had he retrieved it where he was. Now he's going to draw an extra defender, and it's an absolute wrestling match over in the corner. Kirkby trying to pull through two different Red River defenders. Sends this back out towards the high part of the field. It's corralled by Grant Harrison for Central. Now Weber, a freshman coming over, trying to make a play on the ball. It ends up out of bounds, and we'll see Owen Martin turn it back in. He goes looking for Kamara. Kamara kept it in the field of play. And now a run towards the corner for Weber trying to get free as he goes hands-on against Red River's Carson Peters. And the ball ends up beyond the far boundary. This one has not lacked for physicality tonight. There's been no question about that throughout the night. Now we see more contact on the far side of the field as Dalvin Samuel tried to jump up into a play for Central. Stoppage and play tonight brought to you by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of ag tires in the region. And brought to you by Apex Apparel, your hometown quick turnaround, family-owned promotional shop in Grand Forks. I'm told by Grand Forks Central football coach Jake Schauer that Ryland Dobrovolny seems to have a pretty good leg kicking of football as well. Now, I don't know, as Dobrovolny steps up and corrals a ball, or correction, that was Christensen that stopped the ball. I don't know, is that telegraphing something on Friday night? Am I going to see Ryland Dobrovolny doing some place kicking for Grand Forks Central? I guess I haven't seen the Central roster yet. You know, this isn't like the college level. They don't release a two deep right after camp is over, so we don't know all the ins and outs. But based on what I just heard from Jake Schauer, it really sounds like we might see a Central soccer connection to the kicking game when Central takes on Bismarck St. Mary's coming up on Friday night. We'll see. In the meantime, Owen Martin set for a free kick for Grand Forks Red River. Martin was taking the approach to it, and the personnel will gather themselves in right around the net in front of Ryland Dobrovolny, who we were talking about just a moment ago. Martin to kick it away, puts some air into this, looking for some contact out front, header towards the net. Net was open, but this ball ends up beyond the back line. Kirkby got back and got a touch to it, and that would figure into a Grand Forks Red River corner. I'm told he's the tallest kicker in Grand Forks Central history. Yeah, that's the thing about him. When he leaps and he gets a hand up over that crossbar, he's tough to defeat up there. Corner from Red River. Bender towards the net. Dobrovolny coming up and over the top to break it up, then dives out to make the stop on a ball on the ground. And I'll tell you what, that's going to get a reaction from the Grand Forks Central crowd tonight, and maybe rightfully so, as he got physical again. In the meantime, there was another physical pop on a hit that'll be about as big a hit as you're going to see in a football game. And here's another diving stop by Ryland Dobrovolny on a kick coming from Maury Kamara. We go back to the previous play with the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. You watch this play from Dobrovolny coming up and over the top to break this up. Then he dives at the ball to run it down. I mean, that's a heck of a play from Ryland Dobrovolny. And we know that if Grand Forks Central is going to win matches this year, it's going to be because Ryland Dobrovolny makes a handful of big plays throughout the course of the night, because they just seem to expect that from him at this point. 1-0 on the All-True scoreboard. Central with the lead right now. Brady Kirkby, lone goal, came in the 10th minute of the opening half, at the 10th minute of the game. And right now, Red River looking for an answer, and they have been stymied offensively. Ball back to Owen Martin in the middle of the field. He looks off to Easton Weiser up top. Weiser back to Joe Clevin. And Clevin looking to Zach Burris, who had some nifty ball handling back in the first half as well. Here he gets around a defender and has another come in to break it up, and we'll see a ball sent beyond the back line by Central's Joe Clevin and, of course, Burris, and they're going to say that Burris touched it up last. So Ryland Dobrovolny will send this one away. Dobrovolny standing ready, and a line drive kick down the field. He went looking for Kirkby. Broken up behind him. Red River gets to it with Carson Peters back behind him at that point. Ball off towards the high part of the field, picked up by James Schindler for Red River. Schindler driving his way over towards the right sideline, finding Kamara. Kamara stop, back out. Panos looking for an opportunity to pull around. Actually, yeah, that was Colt Panos. Burris on the right side. Tried to get around a defender. Nearly had Caden Peterson beat. It comes back to Panos on the right. And now Crispin takes one away. And Crispin turns and starts rocketing up the field. He has Kirkaby to his right if he can stop and find him. And now ball just gets off of Crispin a little bit too out of control and down the sideline before it goes beyond the boundary. Now there was an opportunity there because Kirkaby was to his right. And Crispin looks back, looks at Kirkaby and says, yeah, that one's my bad. He realizes that he had a man off to his right and couldn't quite reach him in that moment. Perhaps didn't realize he was there, or in that situation just didn't have an angle that he felt comfortable with, and then at the end realized that, yeah, he probably should have. Ball sent back up the field by Panos. Long roll into the box, and Dobrovolny will run that one down. Ryland Dobrovolny will kick it away. We're in minute 49, about to roll into minute 50 of the matchup. The first time around in the Cushman Cup this season. Ball sent up the field. I haven't seen the date of the second Cushman Cup matchup, but this might be one of those rare occasions where both ends of the Cushman Cup will be played before the Cushman Classic is played this year between Central and Red River. We've got a late date on that one this year. Ball back out, Caden Peterson. Turning it back out to the center of the field, trying to find McCain Kendall. Broken up by Owen Martin. He sends one towards the goal long range, and this will be booted out to the near sideline. The Cushman Classic will be played this year on October 24th, which is late in the season. I think normally they've kind of shot for end of September, early October to play that game. You usually are guaranteed pretty good weather around that time. It hasn't snowed as of yet, but you play that game in late October, you just never know. You could end up with a pretty snowy field that night, so we'll have to wait and see. We're in minute 50, about to go into minute 51. Great weather here tonight. Great weather to take us into the Labor Day break as well. We should have outstanding weather coming up on Friday. For Central and Rough Rider football, the Knights and the Rough Riders set to play on Friday night in their season opener. Central plays early, Red River plays late. Both matchups here. KNOX Live Sports with video coverage. KNOX Radio will have coverage of the Central St. Mary's matchup. Ball right side towards Kirkaby. Robertson able to step in front of Kirkaby. They get tripped up on the back. And we'll see a call there, and it looks like this will be Red Rivers to send in. Central trying to make a lone goal hold up, and of course they'll be thinking about a week ago when they played Fargo Shanley here on this pitch. And they had a one-goal lead that they took early in the matchup all the way to the 79th minute before a free kick undid that and turned it into a draw. They'd love to have those 2 points right now in a conference that has a couple right in the middle of it with 3 points. Those would have been a big 3 points to pick up. Instead, they end up with one out of that matchup. Shanley came out with one, and you've got to go back to Shanley to play your next matchup. Kamara ends up falling on top of McCain Kendall on the far side of the field. And we'll see Grand Forks Central with a free kick, and it looks like Dobrovolny is going to come way up the field and kick this from in front of his own bench. Sends it towards the goal, trying to find Kirkaby. Robertson will head this one beyond the far boundary, and Central's going to have a throw-in. Well, when you have a leg like that, why not? And judging from that kick, if he could do the same thing with a football, I think that kick went about 55 yards. So, you know, if you're going to use him as a place kicker on the Central football team, if he's got 55-yard range, you get to about the opposing 30-yard line and 35-yard line, you're thinking about putting some points on the board. And I love the dual sport athlete. I mean, you know, that's one of the ways that you really get this thing worked around is you find that dual sport athlete, and you know, you find somebody that embraces 2 sports at the same time doing what they can do, and that can really be an advantage for your athletic program. We see a stoppage in play. Stoppage in play brought to you by Apex Apparel, your hometown quick turnaround family-owned promotional shop in Grand Forks. And our stoppage in play tonight is also brought to you this evening by Big Jim's Tire, your number one supplier of ag tires in the region. And our officials having a conversation with the Grand Forks Central bench. Don't see an injury at this point. Are they tending to, there is somebody over at the training table. I don't know if that individual has the opportunity to get, I guess, healed up or have some maintenance done before he comes back into the game, but they've stopped things up here. And right now we're going to see an official come over and talk with Pat Coulter, the head coach of Red River. And, boy, there seems to be, we have an official going over to, so the lead official is going over to his bag at this point. He retrieved something from his bag on the far sideline and now is going back behind the Grand Forks Central bench. Did we have a ball go flat? Looks like they're doing some maintenance on the ball. We're going to have a stoppage in play here for a bit. This is odd. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back and get things restarted. Central leading 1-0. We're back with more in a moment.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
Nothing feels or performs better than a properly fitted golf club. Whether it's irons, driver, or putter, call us today for your free club fitting. For over 30 years, the Golf Center in Grand Forks has been your club fitting leader.
Well, if I read the situation correctly, our official went over to his gear bag on the far sideline, and I believe he was checking for the pressure in the ball. It seemed like that was the device that he pulled out of his bag, was a pressure device that he's going to check the pounds per square inch in the ball to see if it was legal. And something that people may not know because it gets to be rather granular, but games that involve a ball that isn't a baseball typically have a range of which you have to have the air pressure at the ball in, and maybe one had flattened out or something along those lines. Kirkaby taking control of a throw-in for Grand Forks Central, and Robertson will send one over beyond the far line on the far side of the field. If I remember my volleyball rules correctly, it was 4.3 to 4.6 PSI, pounds per square inch, that a ball had to have in order to be legal. Every sport's going to have a different set of regulations on its ball. But what it looked like in that situation was the official had gone over, retrieved something from the bag, put something in the ball, but it didn't look like he was inflating the ball. Looked like he was just taking a measurement at that point. Ball sent out to midfield. Tessa knocks it down for Central. It's being pushed up the field, and Kamara trying to outrun Delvin Samuel to the ball on the far sideline. Kamara looking to come to a stop. Samuel carried the ball towards the end line, and we'll see this booted back out high. It stays in the field of play. Run down on the right by William Sickler. Sickler back out on top. Ball knocked loose. Wrestling match for control there. A turn. Sickler looking upfield. Driving right side for Schindler. Schindler leaves it away to Grappenauer, looking to make a long-range strike, or maybe trying to find Kamara on the weak edge, and Kamara couldn't make his move on time as he would have been offside. Ball ends up traveling beyond the back line, and this will go back into the hands of Grand Forks Central for control. And we'll see Ryland Dobrovolny putting that big leg back into one again for Central. Sends that one out. That was a strike of probably, I'm watching it now, right? So 54, 55 yards. He kicked that ball. So, he gets some air under it. Right now you score points one at a time in soccer. He might be able to score them 3 at a time. He might not have the right foot for extra points. Kicking line drives underneath the crossbar. It takes time to get up. You might want to kick the extra point from like 35 yards out. Ball sent back out high by Red River. A step in by Delvin Samuel, and this will twist out of bounds. And the Riders will run back over to pick it up. We'll see Carson Peters come over to send it in. Final soccer matchup we'll have before the Labor Day break. We're here for football on Friday, and then a few days away, and we're waiting for volleyball to start. So we promise you we're going to have some volleyball coverage this year. It just has not started as of yet. And so we're going to be getting into some different things coming up next week. We will have East Grand Forks football coming up next Friday, as both of the Grand Forks teams, I believe, are gone from home next Friday night. Ball sent back up the field, and Crispin trying to run it down. Robertson made a good play in front of him to slide that one away. Battle out of midfield for the ball. DeCooley back in for Red River, trying to find Kamara. Kamara comes to a stop, long range strike, but again, way up and over the crossbar, and that one's going to drift out of play. Well, we make our way into minute number 16 of the second half, 56 for the match. And Central leading 1-0 on the All-True scoreboard. Our scoreboard updates brought to you by All-True. Regular screenings with All-True's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Stay in the game of wellness. Schedule an appointment, visit alltrue.org or call 780-5000. Andrew Christensen comes over to retrieve a ball. And Christensen will bomb this one away. Good punt for Christensen. Ball will roll loose. Caden Peterson back to cut one off for Central, looking for Tesson on the right side of the field. Tesson taking a look up the field. Kirkaby with a touch. Ball back on the sideline where it's won by Carson Peters for Grand Forks Red River. Peters coming up the field trying to find DeCooley. Good pass. They're looking for Kamara. That was a good pass from DeCooley. Just couldn't quite catch him in stride, and the ball ends up rolling beyond the back line. And Ryland Dobrovolny throwing a water bottle into play and getting a drink for Joe Clevin. I didn't know that was legal. I didn't know that you could just stop down for a water break. Dobrovolny will kick it away out towards the middle of the field. I'm learning more about this sport all the time. Schindler, Maury Kamara being defended up on the right side by, I believe, Muhammad for Grand Forks Central. Thrown back up the field off the far edge, and I think a hand contact is going to be called against Red River. There are more students here tonight than there have been last week, and part of that school getting ready to get started, obviously, or getting started, depending upon where you are in North Dakota, but the students coming back, and so that's good to have the students back in doing their thing here tonight, giving a little atmosphere to the place. And the Cushman Cup usually draws a pretty good crowd, and we do have a pretty good crowd down below us. And here's Dobrovolny again, way up at the 45-yard line on the field, attacking the goal, and a header back by Kirkaby ends up going up and over the bar. Or was it Chrisman again? I think that was Chrisman again that was the target on that. And he looks back at Dobrovolny and says, okay, you had the right play. Just didn't have the header accurately. But I'll tell you what, Ryland Dobrovolny, if you're the goalkeeper, going to come all the way up into the opposing team's side of the field to make a free kick and then go dashing back towards your own net to get ready. You're showing plenty of athleticism in that sequence. That's fun to watch. Ball off to the right side, Weber for Central. And this one goes up in the air. Tesson coming over to try to knock it down. DeCooley took control. And now DeCooley trying to race up the field, but ends up losing the ball beyond the far boundary. Nearly halfway done with the second half tonight. Stick around in our post-gamer show. We'll have the player awards that we have for you tonight. Our PS Garage Doors Player of the Game. And our Finest Auto Trim Finest Cover of the Game coming up later on tonight. And we'll have Points Against Hunger brought to you by Northland Community and Technical College coming up tonight. That's a fun program. We'll talk more about that as we go throughout the night. A head around the middle of the field. And coming over towards the right side, Grand Forks Red River's James Schindler trying to get loose. Sends one back to Owen Martin. This will be broken up and sent back into Red River territory. Long run to get to it. Robertson's going to let this go to Andrew Christensen, who pops it back out to midfield. Owen Martin looking to race it down. Martin got a piece of it. Sends it back behind him where he's got some help. The Riders send this up the field off the left side. Kamara. Kamara attacking deep on the left edge, trying to cut back across the formation. Now stops and brings it out high. He's got Panos, and Panos with a kick that goes up and over the bar. Why don't we take a look at a vegan look-in? Our vegan construction game look-in tonight Brought to you by Vegan Construction. They're designers, builders, engineers. They've been doing quality work in the area for nearly 90 years. At Vegan Construction, the lone goal from Sam Chrisman in minute number 10 this evening. Red River with a handful of chances that have been near misses tonight, a little high, a little wide. Ryland Dobrovolny's been a big part of the game this evening for Grand Forks Central. And the Knights leading by a score of 1-0. And that is your Vegan Construction game look-in tonight, brought to you by Vegan Construction, designers, builders, and engineers in the greater Red River Valley. And Red River right now has gone 7 halves without scoring a goal. And halfway through the 8th here, really trying to find just any offense that they can find at all. A throw-in on the far boundary that will be stopped up momentarily. Let's see what we got here from Grand Forks Red River. Riders throw in. It comes back out high. It'll be picked up by Red River's Easton Weiser. Weiser off to the right. Long range attack. Going to go wide of the net again. That one came from William Sickler. A little bit of contact there, but they allow it to go. And Ryland Dobrovolny is going to pick up another kick away for the Knights. Game's worth 3 points in the conference standings as well. And when you take a look at that, again, Central grabbing just 1 point in that matchup with Shanley. If they grab all 3 and hold on, it's a different conference at that point. You can see that there as Central comes down on the attack. This ball will end up beyond the back line. But if you keep that a win, Shanley scored in the 79th minute to force a draw. Central holds on there. Shanley sitting at 3 points in the league. Central sitting at 3 points in the league with tiebreakers. And then a nifty little tie for that number 5 spot, but that's the difference that one goal can make in this situation. Looks like a corner kick coming up here for the Knights.
In for the Rough Riders, number 7, Carson Peters.
Ball's in the corner for Grand Forks Central.
In for the Knights, number 14, Brady.
A couple of substitutions that are being made. And we'll see who from Grand Forks Central is going to take over the kicking duties. They have a stoppage of play right now, so the clock is halted with just a second over 18 minutes to go in the matchup. So Central with a corner kick from the left corner. It's been booted along again, looking for a header off what you would call perhaps that offside, and instead it ends up going beyond the line. The set pieces will improve throughout the course of the season. We've seen a handful of set pieces so far this year where just not a lot happens on them. The timing isn't right. The distance doesn't seem to be honed in as of yet. Kick away from Christensen for Grand Forks Red River. Ball out middle of the field. And knocked away by Red River is James Schindler. Schindler puts it up the field. Dalvin Samuel will kick that out of bounds for Central. And the Riders will have a throw in on the far edge. Throw in comes off towards the right. Ball booted out of bounds again. And another throw in coming in for Red River's Carson Peters. And a ball booted near the boundary and out of bounds again. So a throw in on the right side once more. Owen Martin trying to break free. Martin trying to weave through traffic. Ball ends up being deflected out of bounds. And we'll see another throw in coming in on the right side for Red River's Carson Peters. Martin is there. Back out on top. Ball picked up there by Easton Weiser. And dumped back out to some empty space. And Red River's going to have to start hurrying here. We're into minute number 64 of the matchup. You're down to 16 minutes and change to go. And you've been all around it, but you haven't been exceptionally close as of yet. Maury Kamara stopping and dribbling, trying to keep one low. Dobrovolny dives out, makes a stop on that, and now we see a whistle and some contact here. And they're going to ask for a stoppage of play. So what are we going to face here? Dobrovolny will hand the ball back, and I'm not sure. Yeah, there is an injury on the field. We do have an injury timeout. So we'll take an injury timeout. It's over on the far sideline. We'll take an injury timeout. We'll come back with more 1-0 Knights, 16 minutes and change to go as we continue with our coverage of high school soccer on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.
Pro Ag in Grand Forks and Grafton carries the equipment and parts on hand to make your farming operation run smooth. They carry all major brands like Honeybee, Alloway, Amity, Artex, Hardy, Capello, Monosem, Pickett, Will Rich, and Black Ace. So whether you're trading in, buying, or just need parts, go to ProAgEquip.com to see everything Pro Ag has to offer.
We very much take a lot of pride in our work. Customer service has always been our number one.
We have the best materials. You're going to have the best people in the area to do the job. If you can dream it up, we can make it happen.
Or head to gworkslf.com to get started.
From tears in your car, truck, boat, or farm equipment seats to making boat covers or complete restorations of the interior of your hot rod, Finest Auto Trim in Grand Forks can make the inside of your rides look brand new. Big or small, Finest Auto Trim can cover it all. To get a quote, go to finestautotrim.com.
Well, we're back in action here. Just got back in action a couple of moments ago, and the ball ended up beyond the near boundary. An injury timeout. They were flexing out one of the players over on the far side, trying to get a little stretch into some legs. I don't know if things got a little humid or just tight out there. Nonetheless, it was a Red River player that was down, and just nothing serious, but they're still tending to a cramp over there. Apparently, it looks like a pretty bad cramp as well. Red River trailing 1-0 to Central. The Knights scoring in the 10th minute on a goal from Sam Crispin, and that is the lone goal that has been scored so far here tonight in an Eastern Dakota Conference matchup and a battle for the Cushman Cup tonight as well. Maury Kamara trying to control for Red River. There is one more matchup later in the year, and then the points earned from tonight combined with those points, and from what I understand of the Cushman Cup battle, if the total point scores ends up being a draw on the season, the team that came in with the cup retains the cup. Otherwise, whoever comes out with more points earned between the two matchups wins the cup for the season. Rylan Dobrovolny to kick one away for Grand Forks Red River. And the kick up the field. Knocked around on the near side by Brady Kirkaby. Kirkaby a stop looking for Crispin. Kirkaby got this back. Tries to make a stop. Little ball handle up front. Leaves this behind him. And a set back to Kirkaby. Goes looking up front, trying to make a run for Crispin, a little bit too strong, and Andrew Christensen is there to stop things up for Grand Forks Red River. Another big punt away up the field. This one off towards the far side. Played up the field off the far edge. And a touch by Alshami on the far side that will end up drifting this one out of bounds. And Central's going to have a throw in. So the Knights will throw in, still leading 1-0. We haven't seen a lot of scoring here at Cushman Field so far this season. 1-1, 2-0, and really 1-0 in that win for Davies over Red River. And right now, 1-0 in this one. Out top, some weaving there from William Sickler. Sickler off to the right. Little touch-up out in front for Grand Forks Central's number 5, Joe Clevin. Pushed back down the far edge of the field. Panos with a play for Red River. This one booted way up in the air. Christensen will wait for it to come in on a hop and retrieve. So Christensen has it for Grand Forks Red River, and he will boot it away. Ends up out front. And a pull away this time by Sickler and Panos. Looking out to the right side. Burris has a chance to attack from a steep angle. Pushed it wide. He's got a man on the far edge. Back out in front. A chance up and over the bar from DeCulu. Boy, that was a great play and a good piece of offense that time from Grand Forks Red River. And DeCulu comes up just a little bit high. You watch that again on our American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay, and there's the pass off the left side and then a play up to DeCulu, and again another near miss that comes up just empty. And here comes Burris again attacking on the right side. Burris will turn, and Dobrovolny goes down to make a stop for Grand Forks Central. So once again, we see another near miss for Grand Forks Red River, and then they attack once more, get a clear chance at it, but the ball comes right at Dobrovolny. Ball on the right side. Burris will leave it off towards the right, looking for a streak up the field, coming that time from Finn Ranum. That's broken up. Ball comes back near side for Crispin. Crispin a stop and a look. Holding near side. Nice little back pass coming out for Weber. Weber takes a look, going to look for Crispin. Crispin couldn't keep that in the playable area. So the ball ends up wide, and we'll end up back on a throw-in for Grand Forks Red River. And a throw towards the boundary ends up going long, and now we'll see a kick coming up for Grand Forks Red River. We play into minute number 69. Just a little over 11 minutes to go. Red River still looking for a goal, down 1-0. It has been a tough run for almost 2 weeks now for Grand Forks Red River trying to find some scoring. Ball bounced out in the middle of the field. Stopped by Sickler, getting free. That's not Sickler, it's Schindler, getting free. Coming off towards the right side. He's able to get a run up the far side of the field now for Brady Robertson. Robertson puts it out in front. Header that time from Burris that ends up wide. It almost feels like a little bit of a panic from Grand Forks Red River. I don't know that I would call it panic. I think I'd call it urgency. But it does feel a little bit like some panic from Red River. And yet it's been effective. It's been productive. They've been able to get up the field and do some things. Here's a stop by Schindler again. Schindler looking for Burris on the right side. He gets tripped up. And we'll see a free kick off the right side now for Grand Forks Red River. And again, right around striking distance. They'll have a chance to face up on this towards the net. So we'll see what Owen Martin decides to do here, and Grand Forks Red River will have a chance with the ball out near the right boundary, but within the area where you could send a player towards the net and come up with some contact to try to equalize this matchup. Martin ready. Kick is away. Intended for the backside. Header towards the net. Mishandled, and Dobrovolny comes up with a save on the back end. After just a little bit of a mishandle from one of the central defenders, Dobrovolny able to come up with a play behind him to save that one. Ball deflected in the air as Dobrovolny punts it away. Goes loose on the far boundary, and this is going to be back to Red River. We are now into minute number 71. We're less than 10 minutes to go in the matchup. Central leading 1-0 on the All True scoreboard. Again, scoreboard updates brought to you by All True. Regular screenings with All True's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Stay in the game of wellness. Visit alltrue.org. Call 780-5000. Owen Martin tripped up. They're going to play through that apparently. Ball sent up the field. This should be an offside call, I would think. Perhaps not. They're going to let it play through. Chance on the right side for Grand Forks Central coming up the field. That was Nabi Adrago. That got free with the ball. Adrago was stopped trying to pull between a pair of defenders. Throws the body, but ends up having the ball get away. This will roll back out to the middle of the field. Burris trying to come up the field for Red River, and a trip up from behind that ends up decleating William Sickler. And Red River is going to have a free kick. The student section from Central chants, "Who's your daddy?" They're in jerseys down there tonight as well. It was jersey night for the Central student body. And now Andrew Christensen's going to come up the field, and Christensen going to take an opportunity to stretch things for Grand Forks Red River. And he does. He got it out in front, and Maury Kamara's there, and Kamara scores! Maury Kamara comes up huge for Grand Forks Red River down the stretch. Christensen stretching the field. Maury Kamara scores, and we're even at one apiece. Well, look at it again in the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. There's the kick up the field, and Maury Kamara, that little second effort with the left foot, is what turns it into a play for Grand Forks Red River. And once again, we've got a tie matchup at 1-1 as Kamara comes up with a big goal for Grand Forks Red River. Maury Kamara gets credit for the goal, as you can hear in the background. And the Grand Forks Red River fans have their first goal in 8 halves. It's been a long drought, but they come up with a play. And Grand Forks Red River and Grand Forks Central now even at one apiece, and you can expect a frantic 8.5 minutes of soccer here, because there are 2 additional points for perhaps the team that scores next. So Central and Red River now dead even at one apiece. Ball ends up right side, and we'll see Kirkaby trying to get free for Grand Forks Central. turned back towards the top, and it was deflected. Ball came back out high. Central had Grant Harrison there. Pushed back towards Kirkaby in the corner and headed out of bounds by the Rough Riders in the form of Brady Robertson. So out of bounds, and we'll see Central play one in. It works into the corner, and Nabi Adrago getting a touch on it. Sent it back out towards the right side, and we'll see some contact there, and we're going to see a call coming up against Grand Forks Central. Red River's going to get a free kick of it. So Red River will come up with a free kick. Time winding away into minute number 73 of the matchup. And the free kick ends up wide. So Central will play one in. 1-1 on the all-true scoreboard. A goal by Crispin now equaled by a goal by Kamara. By the way, just for official purposes, that goal will come in the 72nd minute of the matchup. Came with just over 8 minutes to go. So minute 72 for Maury Kamara. 1-1 draw, at least at this point. And Red River trying to get up the field with some dribbling from Max Grafenauer, and that ball ends up beyond the far boundary. Again, our post-game report, we'll have the highlights of this one. So stay with us here tonight as we take you through the post-game report coming up later on as we bring this one to a conclusion tonight and get ready for football coming up on Friday. Here on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. Ball ends up towards the near boundary. Adrago trying to put some pressure on. It comes back to Crispin. Now Adrago again for Central. Back out on top. Red River trying to make the run away. They'll get loose with number 5, Colt Panos. Panos held up, but Sickler's able to find the ball. He leaves one off looking for Panos on the right side. Had a man on the far boundary as well, and the ball ends up rolling beyond the far boundary. Another game look in brought to you by Vegan Construction. Designers, builders, engineers. Now a goal in the matchup for Maury Kamara in minute 72, countering Sam Crispin's goal in the 10th minute tonight, as Red River and Central are even at 1 apiece. And we're down to just minutes to go, and that's your look in tonight, brought to you by Vegan Construction. Designers, builders, engineers, quality work for nearly a century in the Red River Valley. Ball ends up out of bounds, and we'll see Grand Forks Central with a throw-in as we're into minute number 75 tonight. 75th minute, drifting away. We've got a whistle. We'll see Matt Hodney coming in for Grand Forks Central down the stretch. And a throw-in coming in for the Knights. Ball leaks up on the near sideline, and this will be booted deep down the field. Just trying to keep this ball upfield, apparently, for Grand Forks Red River, as James Schindler just reached over and tagged that one strong. Dobrovolny will kick the ball away. Sends it back out to midfield looking for Adrago. He tumbles. Loose ball back to Finn Random for Red River. And a header from Central's Caden Peterson sends it beyond the boundary. Random will come back up the field looking for a throw-in for the Rough Riders. Taken down on the right by Kamara. Ball comes out high. Riders able to hold it up front. Grafenauer taking a look. Got between a pair of defenders. It's broken up. Sent back out to midfield. This one left up for Kirkaby on the right side. He's offside. Kirkaby, I think, knew it too. He looked over to the right side to see if he could find the official. And Brady Robertson for Red River may have made a really headsy play there, because it looked like he also looked over to find the official. When he realized that Kirkaby was ahead of him, instead of sprinting to get back out in front and cover the play, he knew he had the call, so he allowed Kirkaby to stay ahead of him, waiting for the offside call. That's a smart play by Robertson. Free kick for Red River. Ball comes up high. Knights will come back the other way. They leave one out in front for Adrago. Robertson running it down against him. The ball's on the far boundary. Another piece of collision that ends up beyond the boundary, and Grand Forks Central's going to have a throw-in. Robertson didn't like the fact this was off of him. He protests a bit, and Central's going to have a throw-in deep inside Red River's end. So we'll see the Knights throw in. Time winding down. We're in minute 77 of the matchup. Throw in push towards the corner and headed back towards the far boundary by Red River. Again, stay with us in our post-game report tonight. For those of you looking for our post-game highlights, we'll have them. We'll have our player awards coming up tonight as well. We'll run you through it quickly here this evening as they like to tear down here fast tonight also. So we'll have our post-game report. We'll be brief. We'll have a break, and we'll come back with the highlights of the matchup and take you through all the particulars in this one coming up in our post-game report tonight. Brought to you by Spray Advantage and the Ski and Bike Shop. Spray Advantage, everything you need for spraying an application on your farm. The Ski and Bike Shop with quality products to keep you moving. In Grand Forks, the Ski and Bike Shop bringing you our post-game report along with Spray Advantage this season. Ball booted out of bounds on the far boundary. 1-1 draw, at least at this point. It's a tie right now. It goes in the books as a draw if it finishes that way. But right now, 1-1 tie in the matchup in minute 78 of the Cushman Cup battle between Central and Red River. Grafenauer looking upfield, trying to leave one up front. He's got a long streak from Sickler coming up the field. This will be covered. Central got a defender back in Joe Clevin to boot that ball out of bounds. Red River will throw in towards the goal. They come into the corner looking for Kamara. That's broken up and sent back beyond the boundary on the far sideline. Central to throw in again, rather Red River to throw in again. And right now they're looking for Kamara. He's got that athletic body. They want touching the ball, and he may have been offside. Kamara sends this one back towards Dobrovolny, so Ryland Dobrovolny can make a free kick of it. And we're into minute number 79. Down to 100 seconds to go in this thing. Will there be one more scoring play for somebody to try to put a couple of extra points in the EDC column? Or is battle number one between these two teams destined to be all even? Ball on the right side, some contact, free kick coming up for Grand Forks Red River after the Riders had James Schindler trying to run with control. Now they're going to bring Andrew Christensen, the goalkeeper, way up into Central Territory, and this is the type of play they scored their goal on. Christensen stretching the field. This one comes back a little bit. Left short, up in the air. Couple of headers towards the net. There's a scrum there. A turn, and Owen Martin nearly had an angle to attack. We're down to a minute to play. Martin decides to withdraw. They send it back up high. Central plays it out. Crispin trying to get up the field with it, left it behind. Ball comes back to the right, but Crispin continues to battle. This is beyond the near boundary. Red River a throw in. Finn Random to throw it across. Random sends it towards the corner. Caden Peterson looking to break it up. High to Maury Kamara. Kamara looking for an angle. Drifts to the right. Comes to a stop. Back to his left. Left it high. He's got a run at it. Long range strike gets deflected. Loose ball out to Adrago. Adrago got free. The ball's loose up the field, but Adrago will not be able to catch it before it drifts beyond the line. And that's going to take us into the final 10 seconds and may leave this one all but decided tonight. Final countdown running. The teams are going to put a point on the board each tonight. Nothing decided in the first battle for the Cushman Cup. A goal in the 72nd minute by Maury Kamara ties it up, and it finishes in a 1-1 draw this evening as Sam Crispin scored in the 10th minute to put Central out in front. Your final score tonight is 1-1 on the All True scoreboard. Our post-game report, brought to you by Spray Advantage and Lake Region State College, is on the way next. We'll come back with it with our highlights coming up. Those of you that missed those regular parts of the game, stay with us for the game highlights in this one tonight next on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersales.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
When you simplify, you have more time for life. Simplify your life with Hugo's Family Marketplace. No time to run to the grocery store? Hugo's can help. Just click on gohugos.com and place your order online. We'll fill your order, and you can either pick it up curbside or have it delivered to your home or business. It's really that easy. Just go to gohugos.com for all the details.
More low prices, more great stuff when you go to Hugo's.
Thief River Glass handles it all. Aluminum storefronts, auto glass, windows, shower enclosures, and more. Just like our athletes, we're built for every season. No job is too big or too small. Call 218-681-1333 for year-round dependable service.
When you're looking for a change of pace, a change of routine, or a change of scenery, we'll help you find what's next. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For you, for life.
Ready to launch your future? At Northland Community and Technical College, opportunity starts here. Train for high-demand technical and skilled trades or start with an affordable Associates of Arts degree and transfer with ease. Visit northlandcollege.edu.
The Kubota BX Series, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
For expert sales and service, visit Acme Equipment or online at acmekubota.com.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivard's Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, grandtrailersales.com.
This is the KNOX post-game show. Brought to you by the Ski and Bike Shop and Spray Advantage.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school soccer tonight in the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. KNOX Live Sports this evening from Cushman Field. We move into our post-game report tonight in what turns out to be a 1-1 draw between Grand Forks Central and Grand Forks Red River in the first battle for the Cushman Cup tonight. Our post-game report brought to you by Spray Advantage. Everything you need for spraying an application on your farm. The difference between Spray Advantage and their competitors is that Spray Advantage has what you're looking for in stock. Tips, tanks, nozzles, pumps, grain carts, seed tenders, 2 locations, Grand Forks and St. Thomas. Spray Advantage. Make them a part of your agricultural game plan now and for years to come. And it's brought to you tonight as well by the Ski and Bike Shop with quality products including Trek bikes in Grand Forks. They are the top quality bikes that you're looking for when it's time to get out and get moving, whether it's summer or winter. They have you covered at the Ski and Bike Shop. Well, it was a great battle tonight between these two teams, and we expected as much tonight between Central and Red River the first go-around for the Cushman Cup. Some of the takeaways from tonight's matchup will be that Red River spent a lot of time up in Central's end, but it took a long stretch play from their goalkeeper, Andrew Christensen, before they finally found the scoring strike that they were looking for. Mora Kamara, a very athletic player, gets on the scoreboard for Red River, and it breaks up 7 consecutive halves where they hadn't scored a goal. Grand Forks Central, again, looking for 80 minutes, and we talked about that in the pregame report tonight. Their goal is to play an 80-minute matchup, and tonight they played a solid 72 before they gave up the goal, and they really played better. I mean, they played well in the final 7.5 minutes as well, or 8.5 minutes. But in the 72nd minute, they had a breakdown, and it's probably too much for Grand Forks Central to be dependent on trying to just win every battle 1-0. They're going to have to find a little bit more offense themselves in order to make this thing work. But in the end, another near miss for Central. In the end, both teams are going to split the Eastern Dakota Conference scoring that they had tonight, and nothing decided in the battle for the Cushman Cup tonight as this one ends
in a 1-1 draw here at Cushman Field. It was a great night tonight. We had a great crowd that was on hand for this one tonight. We really appreciated all of what they did getting themselves into the game this evening. We're going to take you through the game highlights that we have for you in this one tonight, as this one turned out to be a well-played matchup and plenty of good highlights in this one tonight. It starts early with Ryland Dobrovolny making another big save. Again, if Central's going to get points on the board tonight, it's going to be because Dobrovolny comes up big. And then Central comes up with a big play down the field. This is Sam Christman getting loose and scoring in just the 10th minute of the matchup, and that gave Grand Forks Central the 1-0 lead, and they nearly scored again with Brady Kirkaby getting free. One of the better individual opportunities tonight, Kirkaby coming up, but Andrew Christensen, the goalkeeper for Red River, making a big play to keep that one from going into the net. It was 1-0 after 1 here tonight. Then here as we get early in the second half, another big save from Ryland Dobrovolny on a set piece from Grand Forks Red River. Dobrovolny breaks it up and keeps another play from ending up in front of him tonight. Later in the matchup, though, a near miss for Red River. That was Kamara and Dekulu. It was Dekulu that came up high, and it was that kind of night for Red River's offense, but they finally get one. A long stretch play down the field from Andrew Christensen, and Maury Kamara comes up big in that scenario as Kamara comes up with a goal that ties this thing up tonight. They really needed that this evening, and Grand Forks Red River comes back to at least tie things up with Grand Forks Central here this evening. And those were the post-game highlights that we had for you this evening, and our post-game highlights brought to you tonight by Spray Advantage, everything you need for spraying an application on your farm, and brought to you by the Ski and Bike Shop, quality products with Trek bikes and more in Grand Forks. So at the end of the night tonight in our post-game analysis, Central gets a point. They'll go to 2. Red River does get on the board with a point inside the Eastern Dakota Conference tonight. They end up getting to 1 point on the season. But in the long run, a long way to go for both, and nothing decided in the Cushman Cup. And you know, we're going to see those teams have to get back after it, and at some point, got to put some wins on the board. Both teams will come out of this knowing they played a good struggle against one another tonight, but they left the win part of this behind, and that's going to be something that will haunt both of them going forward, as at some point, you got to put the big 3 on the board, grab the points in the Eastern Dakota Conference. Another go-around between these two coming up later on this year, but right now, they've got to try to find their way to getting some wins inside the Eastern Dakota Conference. That is our post-game summary that we had for you tonight. Post-game summary this evening brought to you again by Spray Advantage and by the Ski and Bike Shop. And we've got more coming up in a couple of moments. We'll take you through our post-game awards. They'll include our Player of the Game award and our finest cover of the game, all coming up here in a couple of moments. So stay with us as we continue with our post-game wrap-up. Central and Red River, they played to a 1-1 draw this evening. And we're back to wrap things up at our post-game report and for our coverage next.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivard's Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting someone who pays attention to the little things that make a big difference. And to keep your family cool this summer, it takes Bryant.
Connect with Thermal Air today, your Bryant certified dealer.
In Grand Forks, it's about more than just where you live. It's about the people you trust when life happens. At Logan Karski State Farm, we're proud to protect what matters most. I'm Logan Karski with State Farm, and we'd be honored to be your good neighbor.
When the lights go out, count on the pros. Bergstrom Electric in Grand Forks, the area's largest full-service electrical contractor. From commercial builds to homes, they're trusted for quality, safety, and award-winning work. Call today, 701-775-8897.
When you need the right part for your pickup, head to Northwood or call Mike's Custom Truck. Amanda will drop ship any part you need. Turbos, upgraded fuel pumps, Edge products, and more. Mike's Custom Truck, 587-6335.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Hey, this is Pastor Paul. I'd like to welcome you to Hope Church, especially if you're a person that doesn't have a place where you hang out spiritually. We would love for you to come and experience hope and find God. Hope Church, 9, 10:30, and 6 p.m. on Sundays. For more information, you can check out gfhope.org.
Pick 6 for $19.99, a perfect meal for two.
That's gotta rhyme.
Well, how about munching on Pick 6, my mouth going yap, yap. People always staring at my wings, they go flap, flap. Dave is so surprised because he didn't know I'd rap. Pick 6 meal for two for $19.99.
H&S Electrical Services is proud to support local high school sports. From homes to industry, we deliver safe, reliable electrical solutions. Locally owned and operated, our skilled team ensures quality and service you can trust. H&S, trusted in your homes and businesses.
This is the KNOX post-game show. Brought to you by the Ski and Bike Shop and Spray Advantage.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school soccer tonight on the Rivards Turf and 4-Edge Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Our post-game report continues this evening. And again, our post-game report brought to you this evening by Spray Advantage, everything you need for spraying an application on your farm. And also brought to you tonight by the Ski and Bike Shop with quality products right here in Grand Forks. Ryan Cunningham with you here this evening. Thank you so much for joining us again tonight. We really appreciate all of you that tune in for our coverage of high school sports throughout the course of the year, whether it be soccer, volleyball, football, those things about to come up, obviously, in the winter sports with basketball, hockey, and wrestling, and then when we get into the spring with baseball and softball and some girls soccer on the North Dakota side as well. We just love the fact that those of you that tune in for it are with us as loyally as you are, and we're looking forward to serving you again with another season coming up. It's early in the year, but we've had a good time with it already. Tonight, the Cushman Cup is battled to a 1-1 draw on round one. Now, there's another matchup between these teams coming up later, and so nothing decided now. That means if there's an outright win coming up in the next matchup, whoever that is going to take home the Cushman Cup for 2025. So we'll see what that looks like going forward. But tonight, a 1-1 draw between Central and Red River, and it looks like these two teams are destined to play some really, really tight spaces against one another throughout the course of the season. Well, it's time for our post-game awards that we have for you tonight, so let's get that started as we continue along with our coverage this evening. And our post-game awards that we have for you tonight, we'll start with our Player of the Game Award, and our Player of the Game Award is brought to you tonight by PS Garage Doors, where, again, their motto is the PS standing for perfect service. You call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors, and they will make sure that you're taken care of at PS Garage Doors. That's where the perfect service comes into play. PS Garage Doors, call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors. Tonight, Maura Kamara is going to be our Player of the Game Award winner for Grand Forks Red River, and here it is for Maura Kamara. Maura Kamara coming up big in the last moments of this game tonight to preserve a draw for Grand Forks Red River on a little chip-in goal, and Maura Kamara is going to be our Player of the Game Award winner that we have for you tonight, brought to you by PS Garage Doors. Our final award this evening is the Finest Auto Trim Finest Cover of the Game that we have for you tonight, and that's brought to you by Finest Auto Trim, where, again, their motto is big or small, they cover it all. Finest Auto Trim specializing in the recovery of vehicle and marine seats that you're looking for. Finest Auto Trim has been recovering those vehicle and marine seats for a long, long time, and they're ready to do it for those of you in agriculture. If those seats have lost some of their support while you've been out doing the work that you have to do, Finest Auto Trim is ready to help you with those seats so that you're comfortable in your implements, making your way into another harvest season. If you're having a hard time with this one, well, don't wait. Give yourself an opportunity to get those resurfaced at the end of the season with Finest Auto Trim so you can have the support you need to do the work that you need to do. Finest Auto Trim bringing you our finest cover. Why not Ryland Dobrovolny again tonight? This big play for Dobrovolny coming in up and over the top to knock a ball away, and then another diving stop out there for Dobrovolny. Just another big night for Ryland Dobrovolny, the goalkeeper for Grand Forks Central, and Ryland Dobrovolny is going to be our Finest Auto Trim, our finest cover of the game that we have for you tonight. And it's brought to you, as we always say, by Finest Auto Trim, where, again, their motto is big or small,
they cover it all. Having a little bit of problem getting back here. I apologize for that, folks. There we go. Back here tonight as we continue along with our coverage of high school soccer on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. Well, that's going to do it for our coverage of high school soccer tonight, but stay with us again coming up on Friday. We're going to have a fun one coming up on Friday. Grand Forks Central will take on Bismarck St. Mary's coming up on Friday afternoon. It'll be a 3 o'clock start for us on the pregame side. That'll be a radio and video call, and we'll be joined that night by Bill Lorenz, the former high school football coach at Grand Forks Central, that will join us for color commentary that afternoon. And then coming up that evening, it's Grand Forks Red River that will be in action against West Fargo Horace. As we wrap up our post-game report tonight, we want to mention one more thing to you. Throughout the course of the season, we have an award that's brought to us by Northland Community and Technical College in East Grand Forks, and it's called Points Against Hunger. It's a great opportunity to battle hunger in our area. We've combined with our area schools, the greater Grand Forks area, for our sports coverage to try to battle hunger in our region. As our teams score, dollars are raised to fight hunger in East Grand Forks at the Pioneer Food Pantry. For every goal that a Grand Forks team scores in our matchups that we have in soccer, $1 is donated to the Pioneer Food Pantry to help stamp out hunger, and that dollar comes from Northland Community and Technical College. Tonight, a goal for Central and a goal for Red River. $2 will go into the kitty to try to fight hunger at the Pioneer Food Pantry, and those dollars are cumulative throughout the course of the year. Throughout the course of the season, several $100s will make their way into the Northland's, or I should say rather, the Pioneer Food Pantry from Northland Community and Technical College, and we couldn't do that award without them. So a big thank you to Northland Community and Technical College for bringing you that award tonight. $2 more raised to fight hunger in our region tonight, thanks to Northland Community and Technical College. That'll do it for our coverage of high school soccer tonight and high school sports this evening. Central and Red River, they battle to a 1-1 draw. We'll see you again on Friday for a doubleheader of high school football, with Central battling Bismarck St. Mary's in the afternoon, and in the evening, it'll be Grand Forks Red River and West Fargo Horace. We thank all of you for joining us tonight. This has been our coverage of high school soccer on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Sports.